shock you touch the ground. My future's covered in smoke, but my head is up in the clouds. And maybe this will all fade after one bad day, and I'll be okay. But my life is in the worst place, and I can't wait for heartbreak from my mistakes. I don't wanna burn these bridges anymore. It's easy to say things you don't mean when you're at war. I'm just too tired to fight, but there's an end in sight. Wave the white flag, I'm yours tonight. 'Cause my heart can't take these heights. I need your love with me for life. I need your love, I need your love with me for life. Brand new state, change your name. Covered up scars from your parents' place. It's everything you need to move on. On my neck, wasted breath, trying to get with that someone next. I've never been the type to move on. Yeah, I never thought you were social, and now everybody knows your name. I know you'll take the world over, but I hope you don't forget this place. Don't you forget about me. Don't you forget about me. I know you're chasing my dream. But if you visit my street, don't you forget about me. Not far from the top, you're never gonna drop. Running my mouth for the race I lost. It's hopeless, puddles to oceans. Compare our devotions. Yeah, I wouldn't wanna end your party. Don't pity first or second, first want to know who you.
Welcome to the Boise State Esports Arena. We're here today for the USO Indo-Pacific Rocket League 3v3 tournament, where the United States active duty military located in Guam, Hawaii, Japan, Korea, and Okinawa are competing for their share of a $1,200 prize pool. Since 1941, the USO has been the nation's leading organization to serve the men and women in the U.S. military and their families throughout their time in uniform. From the moment they join to their assignments and deployments, and as they transition back to their communities, the USO is always by their side. I'm Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Artie Nerdy Rain to call all of the action tonight. And this is going to be great, Nerdy, because this is a broadcast that we're going to be doing basically for people competing on the other side of the world, basically. It's evening for us, but morning for them in their local time zones. This is great because it kind of taps into a talent pool that we haven't quite seen yet, those currently stationed in Asian regions.
Most definitely. I don't know if competing at 10 in the morning is a blessing or a curse for these players, though. I mean, for most competitive esports players, 10 in the morning is a little bit early unless you're competing at a LAN, in which case you're also battling jet lag as well as competing at 10 in the morning. So best of luck to all of you if you're not used to having to be playing video games this early, because typically it's a nighttime activity.
Although they are active duty military, so if they're on bases, they're not going to get too much opportunity to sleep in, up bright and early. But let's take a look at the event tonight, see how it is going to work. As I said, this open to U.S. military active duty. Guam, Japan, South Korea, Hawaii, and Okinawa are the regions. It's a double elimination match bracket, and thankfully for our voices, all matches are going to be a best of 3. So it's going to be a great, very quick match here, but the opportunity for a bracket reset if we do get to the finals. And this is what they are going to be playing for. As I said, it's a $1,200 prize pool, with the first team splitting $600, the second team splitting $400, and the third place team splitting $200. So not a bad day for a few hours of Rocket League, taking home a few hundred in your pocket. Not bad.
That's a lot of McNuggies.
That definitely is, which are still available no matter where you are. So they could get McNuggets if they wanted to.
But if you're in Japan, get the Shake Shake fries. I'm telling you, get them instead. Don't even bother with the McNuggets.
We can go into a whole analysis of all the various unique McDonald's items around the world, and it is truly fascinating. But we got to focus right now on the Rocket League that'll hopefully give them the money to get those items.
Most definitely.
And to help them do that, we are going to be bringing you Doc's keys to the game in Rocket League. How you play your best is to create mistakes, punish the double commit, use your boost wisely, and bump opponents to disrupt them. It's all brought to you by the USO. Again, the USO nation's leading organization to serve the men and women in the U.S. military and their families throughout their time in uniform. From the moment they join through their assignments and deployments, and as they transition back to their communities, the USO is always by their side. I'm actually going to be bringing up the team list here because I believe the first teams that we are going to be playing with are the Island Mercs and the Iwakuni Gaming Club. So those are the 3 teams, but we have a lot of great teams here. We've got a team named Banana Boys, which has a great team logo. We also have Team JJJ, which has the best logo I've ever seen. So hopefully we can bring it up if that is. But we can also see the current matchup that we have before us. Right, that is Island Mercs and the Iwakuni Gaming Club. There's also a team called Team 1, so just being very creative kind of with the team names here. It's a reference to Cat in the Hat, Team 1 and 3 and 2, but it's Team 1. But there is no Team 2, unfortunately.
I also saw a team I can't remember the first portion of the name, so forgive me to the team that knows that I'm going to be referencing them here. It said featuring Josh, and I'm like, where's Josh? Looking at the player list.
Oh, yeah. No, that's the Iwakuni Gaming Club featuring Josh.
Yes, featuring Josh. Where's Josh? Give me Josh. I need to know who this Josh person is.
Yeah, I know. There are people, the players on that are Doc, Mori, Identity, and Freak.
Exactly.
But no, one of them has to be known as Josh. And maybe that's a mystery we can find out as we go along, is who is Josh? Is he really a player, or is he more with them in spirit throughout the night?
Or is he figurative?
I don't know. We might never know who Josh is, but we are going to know what their gameplay. So what are you going to be looking as we start this tournament? Now as we get into the first rounds, this is going to be the opportunity to see kind of where the talent pool lies for each team. What sort of plays do you look for most in Rocket League that kind of tell you, oh, this team's going to go far?
I definitely look for which team, at least early on, is doing the least amount of double commits in a lot of situations, because double commits definitely are a telltale sign there's either not strong communication or their rotations are just not in sync yet. Those could go away, or they could just continue to stay and get worse. I also want to see things done with a purpose, as well as not a whole lot of bunching up, and then looking for mid-control. Those are the 3 things that I definitely feel like can make or break a team. And if you can master those 3 things in this tournament, I feel like it can carry you all the way to the top.
Well, we're just going to be waiting to hop into the first match that is against Island Mercs and the Iwakuna Gaming Club. And another thing just to notice is because we are playing on Asian servers, just from the observer's angle, there might be a little bit of lag because we're connecting all the way towards them. But that does not mean that they're necessarily dealing with the lag. It might just be an observer thing. So just a quick thing for anyone who might be watching and might see that. But yeah, I'm going to be so excited to see how we do. I hope Team JJJ goes very far in the brackets, because then we will be able to see more of them. There we go. Now we're into Iwakuna Gaming, who's going to be in blue, and Island Mercs in orange.
Off the kickoff, we have Identity going forward, but the ball has been volleyed back into Iwakuna Gaming's territory. It looks like Mono is struggling to get possession of this ball. Awkward pinch results in it going high to the ceiling at the mid, pushed forward by JP. In the corner, has to corral it away from one, but unfortunately for them, it's going to be J5 corralling it, grabbing it, pushing across midfield. Stripe now looking for an opportunity is Team Island Mercs to get a score here. Let's see if they can.
J5 and McMeerkat right now in the corner. You mentioned McNuggets, and it seems the McDonald's team is continuing on here, Nerdy, as we actually have someone with Mick in their title. But as they move up the field, they're going to be fighting in midfield for that ball control. Freak is going to give it a little bit of a tap there, actually quite big a tap. Puts it right in front of Island Mercs' goal. A double commit to save it isn't quite what we want to see from the orange team right now. As J5 looks for their clear, pass it to McMeerkat, and they're going to play it off the wall to get to midfield.
Identity looking for an opportunity to find a pass to a teammate, results in it actually landing with one of the Island Mercs players. Ball inside Iwakuna Gaming territory. Collision between a challenge results in no turnover of possession just yet. Ball free at the mid. Identity will collide with, I believe that was our Mick player, but unfortunately still no one with clean possession. Finally, J5 finds it, dunking it down, and loses it immediately to Identity.
McMeerkat up the field and trying to push it toward J5, but it just flew right over him. So a little bit of trouble on the give and go there. As these teams look to still kind of be warming up. There is a little bit, there's a shot off the wall to keep it moving up, but it's just going to slip by all the members of Iwakuna Gaming, and they have a chance to be scored on here as it's centered up by Formerly, but Freak gets to the ball before the shot on goal can go through. And a shot
Freak
back.
Takes the shot, but the crossbar is nobody's friend.
Identity with another shot, deflected off to the side. FD Freak is going to leave it for Mano. But McMeerkat, huge shot.
What?
They rotated way too far up the field.
What?
Here you can see here, this is that, oh man, not only rotating too far up the field, but a double commit to try to stop it. That's going to punish you.
Hopefully we do not see a mistake like that from Iwakuni coming out again. Ball is in their territory. Freak is looking for a few touches. They're going to leave it, I believe, for their teammate. Yes, they will. McMeerkat goes for the challenge. Ball gets popped up. J5 tries to grab it off the wall, whiffs it. McMeerkat has to elevate again, popping the ball up at the midfield. Looks like Freak will try to challenge, gets a touch on it, sending it to the side, but ball is still in Iwakuni territory.
All heads back over the midfield mark, where McMeerkat is waiting to clear it back. McMeerkat again rotating up the field very quickly, and Formerly Panda sees the opportunity, gets another goal. So now that's just not a goal scored on the other team rotating up too far. That is an honest-to-goodness offensive goal by Island Mercs to put them to a 2-0 lead.
And we have crossed the halfway point with 2 minutes and 11 seconds left on that clock. That 2-goal lead is very important now at this point, considering how long it's taken for these goals to find their way to happen for either side. This could be an easily maintainable lead if they don't break down in rotations.
Island Mercs on a bit of a back foot as Freak might try to flick it in. They're not going to be able to find it. So McMeerkat back across center. Gets it centered in field, but J5 is just waiting. They're playing a bit tentatively here. They're not quite going for a third goal. They're just going to be looking to keep control of the ball, clear when they can. J5 stops that from being centered. Mano doesn't get the angle he wanted toward the goal there, so Freak is going to have to try to center it up again, but J5 makes the play back across midfield, and now Island Mercs with side control and just over a minute left.
Island Mercs, as you said, were playing very hesitantly. Not something I would advise to do. They gave up 3/4 of the field, all playing back by their goal, but it did not get punished. Meerkat is going to get demoed by Identity. Freak is going to send the ball off the wall. J5 elevates, misses it. Identity now going forward. Doesn't have anyone to beat, but an awkward flick results in a possession loss, and Identity has the chance to volley ball across the midfield, but J5 goes for the challenge. Stopping that ball is still in Island Mercs territory, though.
Formerly Panda. Not going to find the clear. Meanwhile, up the field with Meerkat. Got a demo on Identity. Means for the next few seconds, they're going to be one down. You can see Identity back on the field. Fresh off the respawn is going to be in mid. Passes it right over to the far corner. And just a lot of slow playing right now. Despite your objections, they're still being very tentative and just trying to hold on to their lead with just 20 seconds left. If they can make a play here, that would be the final word. Reek deflects it over to the side. Now just 10 seconds to make 2 goals. I don't think it can happen.
It is definitely impossible at this point, especially with the ball inside Iwakuna territory. They're going to cross the midfield stripe. The ball has to maintain its space in the air, cannot hit the ground in order for anyone to find an extra goal here. It looks like it will be grounded at the last possible second before crossing that goal stripe. And with that, Iwakuni Gaming is going to lose out to Island Mercs 0-2.
Technically had more shots on goal, but the boost used in side control more in favor of Island Mercs. So defense a little bit more solid there. And when Iwakuni Gaming tried to go in and get goals, they tended to all go in, all 3. And that was what started kind of the downhill trend for them.
Most definitely. And it kind of goes back to what the things I mentioned earlier, which is rotations that are strong. You're not double committing, in this case, triple committing on goal scoring opportunities. That's an Achilles heel for even some of the most elite players that we have seen here, casting for Boise State and other organizations. So you got to make sure that those get cleaned up now, because at this point, in the best of 3, it's match point.
Yep, it's just one more opportunity here for Iwakuni Gaming to turn things around. Remember, if they do lose here, that doesn't mean they're out of the tournament. It just means they head down to the lower bracket with the hopes of getting to the grand finals eventually. But overall, you still want to stay in the upper bracket as much as you can. It's just never good going into the finals with that bracket reset mentality.
You also don't want to be the first person out. That's just kind of bogs down the mental. And when you drop down into the lower brackets, our second chance brackets is what I like to call it, you lose your security net. There is no more mistakes from that point onward.
There we can see Island Mercs and Iwakuni Gaming, and that's just kind of one of the great custom icons that we've seen here. I hope we get to showcase more as the night goes on, because there were some true gems, if I might say, hiding out there. Now we head into the second game. Iwakuni Gaming looking to regain their footing against Island Mercs. Freak is going to be the first one to try to make an early play, but J5 is going to deflect it and now play off of it way back over toward Iwakuni Gaming's goal. Leave it for McMeerkat, who isn't able to find the clear, and Mano is going to leave it for Freak. Mano rotates back in, but isn't able to get there quick enough to get a shot on goal. So it heads back in favor of Island Mercs.
J5 seems to be very much so all over the place, trying to chronically be in the way of that ball. It's working out quite heavily right now for the Island Mercs, allowing them to have a lot of side control and pressure, and J5 actually off a give and go will find the first goal here for Island Mercs.
Yeah, it's just jumping over Freak.
This is rough. I did not know that was an in-game chat line you could put in.
For those of you who can't see, Artie is literally raising their hand against the headbane here. Typical, just struggling to comprehend there, but that's one of those default phrases that can really be used for a lot of different occasions. Like this one right here, a double demo from J5 is going to leave it for McMeerkat. They aren't able to follow up on it, so Island Mercs only maintaining that 1-goal lead.
Island Mercs back off very quickly to go for the reset, but it took all of them backing off, and J5 tried to create a goal-scoring opportunity. Fortunately, the angle was not right. Formerly Panda tries to do the same. We have a demo on McMeerkat. Ball is inside Island Mercs territory, but the demos are being just returned back and forth. Shot from Freak deflected by McMeerkat. Ball back at the mid.
Normally Panda pushing up the field solo. J5 hanging back to take control. He's going to send it to the other side of the field completely as Mano takes control of it, dribbles it up. Identity is waiting in the center for the setup, whips on it. Freak tries to salvage it, but unfortunately the play just didn't work out.
There was even a double defender commit on that save. It was perfect, but the angle was just wrong. Now ball is in Iwakuna Gaming territory in their back third. It's a 3-on-1. Ball gets pinched up, and Freak will find the ball crossing the midfield stripe, going to Mono. Unfortunately now, they have to beat out these defenders. One is there. They'll elevate and just shoot the ball right back to the mid. It was McMeerkat who's got no pressure on them. They can take the time to find the perfect shot, but unfortunately, Freak will get in the way.
Demo on to J5. It's kind of been a playmaker for Island Mercs. Much like the first round, though, shots on goals in favor of Iwakuna Gaming, but they just haven't been quite the quality that they've looked for. Meanwhile, McMeerkat just stealthily sneaks it in to push it to 2-0.
Absolutely stellar shot here from McMeerkat. Identity tried to rotate in. We also had JP try to elevate, but neither one could get any bit of their car on that ball. 2 minutes, 18 seconds on the clock. Island Mercs yet again in a 2-0 lead.
Now looking on to a great position to win this first match unless there's a huge rally from Iwakuna Gaming right now. They've still yet to find their clear, but that's a good one. It's going to head back toward J5. Two members rushing up the left side of the field are going to be thwarted by McMeerkat's precision clear with the help of J5 back over into Iwakuna Gaming's territory. Around the corner to the center. No follow-up, though. This might be the same thing. The one thing that Iwakuna Gaming can capitalize on, though, is once a 2-0 lead is formed off the crossbar. No, soccer rules still apply, much to Iwakuna Gaming's chagrin. Maybe the shot here, it's just too high again.
We have a third attempt happening. It's going to take an awkward bounce off the ceiling. Panda sends it across midfield stripe. Identity tries to redirect. Panda is going to get taken out by Mono. Now ball still inside Iwakuna Gaming territory, is in the corner. Freak tries to play it around one, gets it around another. There's no one to beat, but they lose control. Unfortunately, they lose possession. Ball is in front of the net, and Freak comes flying in like a rocket. Iwakuna Gaming puts their first goal on the board.
And you know they were desperate there, both of them going for that, so that hadn't gone through. That double commit might have been punished severely. Now Iwakuna Gaming is just 1 goal off. Formally Panda is going to be chasing after the ball. Iwakuna Gaming doesn't have possession as J5 elevates up in a huge bomber toward the far corner. Identity answers it back. A flick over towards center and might just roll in, but again, the angles just aren't there. Iwakuna Gaming has had several of those opportunities where the goal's open for them, but they just haven't quite gotten the accuracy.
Ball is going to go to the midfield stripe. McMeerkat's going to snag it, volleying it back across. J5 dunks it down. There's no one home, but the angle again is not right. The secondary touch from McMeerkat's too slow and too low. Easily sent back to that midfield.
20 seconds left for Iwakuna Gaming to make their play. A goal here for Island Mercs would cement their victory. Can they do it? J5 just kind of passing it over, not really to anyone there. That left it open for Iwakuna Gaming to clear it back out toward Island Mercs. The question is, will they get a buzzer beater right now? They are not going to, so Island Mercs wins that first round 2-0. Despite all the shots on goal, Iwakuna Gaming pelted onto them.
Unfortunately, Iwakuna Gaming, I feel like the hesitancy is really what was their undoing. There was a lack of midfield control, so their fantastic breakaways and clears were not able to be capitalized on.
Well, that's going to do it for the first round of this match. Island Mercs continue on as Iwakuna Gaming heads down to the second chance bracket. This tournament is supported by the USO, which strengthens America's military service members by keeping them connected to family, home, and country throughout their service to the nation as a force behind the forces. Can already see Nerdy is using the dry erase desk to great effect. And one thing you'll probably see is that desk just slowly filling up with stats as we move forward in the tournament.
Most definitely. I have the memory of a goldfish, so I have to write everything down.
It really is impressive once you get down and you see the whole spreadsheet in front of Nerdy. So keep an eye on that as we go forward. But overall, what do you think was the main difference decider there between that last tournament? How could it apply to other matches going forward?
Okay, so there was, I feel like, the gods of the game interfering at some points because there was just some shots that were absolutely lucky. And then really it is core mechanics of Rocket League are extremely important no matter what level you play at. And so going and relying on those basics, don't try to do anything fancy. Just make sure you're communicating and you're rotating well. There should never be an open net like we saw at the very beginning of the game. And you need to make sure you're not double committing when there is no need for it. And we saw that happen multiple times.
We have the top 8 that has just been filled into the bracket. There are 13 teams entering this. And here we can see some of the other teams loading in. We got Wet Napkins, MU1 Cobras, Team 1, Sijum's Minions, and Anderson Axel in the top bracket right now.
All right, it looked like Wet Napkins got a bye, as did Anderson's Axel. So let's see if that is going to be their undoing just a little bit because they will lack the opportunity to pseudo warm up as well as gauge how well they're working together as a team from this first round.
There's a look at the upper bracket, which we will mainly follow throughout our broadcast here. And then we'll get down to the lower bracket once we get our kind of grand final participant from the upper bracket all settled. So going in, the question is, do we stick with Island Mercs or do we take a look at some of the other talent that is kind of spread out throughout this tournament?
Take a look at the other talent.
I know we do. We want to get a general sense overall. But one thing I also got to say is I still think I've yet to see kind of the top team emerge because you can just tell there were so many opportunities that were set up for both teams, but just just the angles weren't quite right. Maybe I would see a little bit of that through the replays that we have from that last match. We can actually see the ones that did go right for the different teams. And this was the first one, just a clear case of why you have someone on that back post, or should.
We don't pull the keeper. This is not hockey.
And unfortunately there, not only pulling the keeper, but double committing in midfield toward that. And once you miss it, it's just clear off into the goal.
Here, this was the one that we said was perfect. This was a true, genuine goal. Not trying to discount your first one, McMeerkat, but this took actual skill. You had to reclaim it off of one, and then you had to have the follow-up from Panda. That is team communication, rotation, and playing the follow-up off your teammates' shots. Beautifully done.
And we can see on here a little bit later in the match, formerly Panda was trying to play around identity, and just J5 barely, if it wasn't for that just minor tap there and those demos going through, Island Mercs was kind of flirting with disaster there by rotating up too far themselves. That was the one goal that Iwakuna Gaming was able to get. You can tell they really wanted it, but those that double commit in the one goal that they do get kind of shows what their Achilles heel was.
Most definitely, and if you double commit on a goal-scoring opportunity, you could see that the other player was pushed up past that midfield stripe, almost into the back third territory as well. Breakaway plays are bound to happen and be punished by teams with a little bit more skill, or even teams that are more prepared for those opportunities to occur to them. So make sure you don't let that happen if you are one of the players that's going to be in this tournament currently listening.
Well, as we can see by the matchup graphic, or what's behind me on the screen, it looks like we are going to be getting into our next game, and we are spreading out the talent a little bit to kind of get a feel for the general talent spread across. This is going to be Team 1 versus Sijum's Midgens, I believe that's how it's pronounced. It's either going to be Sijum or Sijum, so I apologize, but I did throw out either pronunciation just to try to cover my bases there. But we could also just call them Minions, too. We just, as
Minions.
casters, we love to just shorten names down to just one word because we can't really process more than one word in our call-outs.
Most definitely. I mean, I already have explained how my brain works. I am borderline smooth brain. So if it's more than 2 syllables, I most likely am going to shorten it, and it's going to get bad. So I apologize. And if it's spelled funky, I'm not going to say it right. I'm also apologizing for that. But that's what you get.
But there is a certain sort of responsibility to when you include 5 consonants in a row in your gamer tag. You can't expect everybody to pronounce it correctly. You don't want to be that person. And there we can see actually an update to the upper bracket. And Wet Napkins is going to be going up against Team JJJ,
yes!
which we were talking about, has the star icon for this tournament. You just got to love it. You can never go wrong with Shrek.
Not at all. Shrek that is a true gem when it comes to cinema as a whole. So best of luck to both those teams. I do believe, as we mentioned just a few moments ago, we're going to be actually going into that group that is third down, which is Team 1, and Sigm's Minions, which we're just going to call Minions.
Yep. Team 1 versus Minions. They could go up against Axel or Grippers later on in the tournament, depending on how it's going to go. That's going to be their next match. But now we get to start to see the talent get pared down a little, and I should start to expect more clean rotations, more accurate shots, and just kind of expecting overall tighter gameplay.
You would think. But sometimes we just get surprised.
But sometimes we get surprised. Yeah, that's true. And sometimes you're just expecting a play because it's the standard play, but then they actually score a goal with the exact opposite of what you were expecting to. So you never know how it's going to go.
I just personally would like to see a kickoff goal. It's been a really long time since I've seen that.
It seemed like we used to see those all the time, and now they're kind of a rare breed.
Yeah, so someone, if you're listening, give me a kickoff goal. That's my one request for this evening. That or a rule one, because it's been a hot minute since I've seen one of those as well. And, you know, I adore those. If you are a frequenter of the Boise State esports broadcasts, I absolutely adore seeing those happen. And when people are good sports about it, it's a good day.
And it completely changes the team dynamics as well. You're just basically playing a whole new game with 2v2 on the field instead of 3v3. So hopefully one of those wishes can be brought forward. I especially like, you know, if we're talking about kickoff goals, I like it when both of the two players in the front kind of go past each other, and then it's the players who are waiting back to try to cheat it out who actually are the ones facing in the kickoff. Sometimes you see some really huge mind games trying to be played on the kickoff.
Yeah, we've seen some unfortunate situations where we have a team try to fake the kickoff and the other team anticipates a fake kickoff too, so they fake it and just no one goes after the ball. And so the first 10 seconds as casters are like, okay, that was unfortunate.
Yep, everyone was just trying a little bit too hard to outthink their opponent there. And when everyone's outthinking, it's like that moment when you're walking down a sidewalk and you run into someone else and you both try to go the same direction to avoid the other person. It just turns awkward for both of you.
Mm-hmm. The polite, oh no, I'm going to move to my left, and then you just get into a really... I'm socially awkward, so when that starts to happen, I stand still and look at the ground.
Okay, you know, that's fair. I mean, you can't make a wrong decision if you're making no decision.
Exactly. It's like, you can pick your path. I'll stop moving. You go. It's all good.
Well, that might be great for those socially awkward moments, but that isn't what you want to see here in Rocket League, as we're ready to jump into our second match. Team 1 versus Minions. We're going to see this match in the upper bracket to determine who moves on to our top 4 teams in the upper bracket. Right now we are at the top 8, with these teams fighting to get one of the 2 spots in the grand finals. And here we go. We are going to continue to move on in this tournament. We're ready to head into this match, best of 3, just like all the other matches in this tournament. Everything is really fast. You just kind of get one opportunity to turn things around. So the pressure is really on you if Elite starts to be opened up against you.
Well, at that point, treat it like it's the first game.
That is true. Where have I heard that before? As if it's the one thing that you mention the most in broadcasts.
Well, okay. If you know how Boise State esports works, I've been here for a long time. I'm a dinosaur. And with that in mind, like, the one thing you can do when the pressure is mounting is treat it like game 1. There's nothing on the line. There is no McNuggets on the line. There's no money, no food, no nothing. And go in it with as calm of a head as you can.
Looks like on Minions, we've got Cocoa Puffs, Airstrikes, and Sigums. That's the Sigums part of Sigums Minions. So I like that we see that as opposed to the team that mentioned Josh, I believe, and didn't have Josh on the team. So at least Sijum's Midgens is bringing in that sort of team cohesion, I should say. And over on Team 1, we can see Chai, Rubik, and Systemic, who immediately tries to get a shot on goal, but is going to be denied by Sijum's. It's now air dribbling in way back. I like what I saw there just in kind of the technical ability from that air dribble. Didn't quite like what I saw there, though. Cocoa Puffs is going to whip on that one. Chai answers it back and is going to be actually credited with a shot on goal there. Sijum's again is going to be credited with the save, so key defensive player, and it's now going to go on the counterattack. Up into the left, up the goal. The follow-up from Cocoa Puffs again is not missing. Cocoa Puffs, are you just too cuckoo right now? You are missing the shots that you need to get. Hopefully we can see a little bit of improvement as we go forward. Rubik's in midfield, not going to be able to deflect that. Chai was the only one left for Team 1 and tried to get it clear, but Sijum's again answers it back and is going to get demoed for his troubles. But can Cocoa Puffs find the redemption? That is accurate, but there were 2 members of Team 1 waiting in that goal. So now 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in this fight. It's going to just be left by Rubik's there, who gets a kind of a funky shot down toward the ground. But all of the speed was vertical rather than horizontal there, and you see that the speed you want is horizontal. You want the straight line going toward the goal, just like we see here in Sijum's, who's really kind of been the standard one, kind of turn things around really quick and put Minions to a 1-0 lead.
The question is, though, can they find that second goal and put them in a security position? Because then there's no opportunity for a buzzer beater and maintain that lead. We have Sijum's going again, pushing into that corner. Though their teammate rotated out, leaving them to deal with the 1v1, Coco does find possession, corralling it around, goes for the center pass. Not a lot of momentum on this ball right now. Means Rubkes might be able to just send it to the mid, but airstrikes will take them out instead.
Airstrikes definitely living up to their name there with an explosion on the field. Sijum's just with a nice pop off his roof there. Push it back toward midfield. Chai finds the clear. Gonna leave it for Systemic, who loses that contest with Sijum's. Sijum's with a bicycle kick is going to drive it way back over to Team 1's goal. Shot on goal is going to go through here. Airstrike tries to find it. Gets into a 50-50 with Chai, but isn't going to get a shot on goal. Luckily, Cocoa Puffs is hanging back to try to defend. Almost gets scored on by Systemic. Chai with the follow-up again is going to be denied.
Sijum's tries to go for the challenge. Can't find the ball, though. Shot on goal. Looks like it's too wide. Secondary follow-ups, dunk it down, can't find the angle either. Chai pops it up, it's in the corner. Airstrike tries to send it to the midfield. None of these opportunities are really working out for anyone. The centering chance from Team 1 thwarted as Sijum's is the one to end up with possession. They're going to play it off the back wall, but one of their teammates needs to be there, but instead it's going to be Rubkins who manages to bring it across the midfield stripe.
Sijum's with another save there, has 3 saves to his name, has been a key defensive player for Minions. It's definitely helped them to get to that 1-0 lead. Rubik's nice shot back toward midfield and the near corner as Rubik Shank is now going to try to center it. Denied by airstrikes. Chai is hanging back. Cocoa Puffs misses again. And like I said, Cocoa Puffs is just slipping all over here. Been missing a lot of key plays, just a little too cuckoo.
Oh my god. I wonder if that's still the tagline for Cocoa Puffs.
I don't know.
Now we are at the It's Complicated 0-0 scoreline with, well, it's 1-1, but it's complicated, tied. As we have less than 90 seconds remaining here in game 1, Chai is trying to get a second opportunity to find a goal, but instead it's volleyed across midfield stripe. It's going to be Sijum's who manages to get a shot on goal, not even credited by the system, unfortunately. Now it's going to be them challenging on to Chai and Rubik's, both of them sending the ball across midfield stripe. Airstrike is going to pop it up over towards the wall and has no pressure on them. However, they lose possession nonetheless.
Yeah, losing that boost will do that to you. Lose your ability to make the play. Down it heads after a huge vertical spike. Almost credited to a goal for Sijum's, who definitely, I can see why the team is named after him. You can see just based on the pure activity feed, Sijum has been the carry and another beautiful shot. Double tap there. He's just going to play it himself to try to get another shot on goal. He's not going to find it. It's Team 1 now looking for their recovery.
Less than 30 seconds left on the clock. Someone needs to find a goal, or we're going to end up into overtime where it is golden goal is the victory. And that is a very anxiety-inducing situation for the players and the casters, as we don't know how long it's going to last. Shot on goal from Cocoa Puffs. It's their redemption. Their teammate's going to come in, airstrike, but their shot is going to be saved as well. The tertiary's too slow, and Rubik easily sends it over into the corner.
Cocoa Puffs with the last opportunity here is going to get another tap. They're going to be chasing after the ball, which means it hits the ground, and now we head into the first overtime of the night. First kickoff of that overtime is going to be won slightly by Sidgems. Goes over, picks up all the boost, but is going to rotate back on the field. Play it safe. Cocoa Puffs gets a nice hit there, followed up by Sidgems. That's beautifully aimed. Perfect execution. And that's going to do it. Minions go up 1-0 in this match. Absolutely no defense to be found there. So just kind of, unfortunately, just getting a little bit too aggressive, Team 1 at the end there. And that proved to be their ultimate undoing. But not just that, you can also see the side control, 66% for Sidgems. So 2/3 of the time was spent in Team 1's territory.
Gotta fix that. Either look for breakaway opportunities or honestly, get a little demolition heavy to make the pressure more difficult for the other team and then clear the ball.
Well, we haven't seen. I mean, the demos have been pretty evenly spread so far. I don't think we've necessarily seen either of the teams really break away from demos, but that's the one kind of thing that can most surprise you often in this game is just all the matches are normal, then all of a sudden everyone's blowing each other up. And you just wonder, what happened between these two teams all of a sudden?
Someone's got beef.
Yeah, an argument broke out between games somewhere along here. But we haven't seen that yet. But I guarantee you it is going to happen because there at least is one time for the tournament where it seems everyone's demoing everyone else, and you just have to wonder what's happening.
I mean, in our first series that we had today, we had like one player go for double demolitions. Nothing really occurred from it. Typically, you do see either a massive clear or an easy shot on goal from those. But what I'm really looking for here is if someone's playing offensively and goes for a demo onto the keeper to allow their teammate to score an easy goal, that would make my day as well.
Stemic, nice shot there. Sidgems, just look at this solo play from Sidgems. He has been the star player for Minions, but it's just going to drop it down toward the ground, but still find a way to play past two people. Airstrike stopping at midfield, keeping that solid side control going for Minions, which is what really helped them to get that lead in the first game. It might be their key to victory overall in this best-of-3.
Chai finds a fantastic clear, carrying the ball into the corner. It will ricochet off that top ceiling area. Systemic, though, goes for the reset. Angle's not quite right. Line Cocoa Puffs to find a clear, sending it to Sidgems. Sidgems takes the shot. It's going to be saved by Chai, but it was a very risky save. Almost looked like the ball might have gone in. Chai now at the midfield stripe, looking for an opportunity to do a give and go, but it ricochets off the ceiling instead. Allowing Cocoa Puffs to come forward, send the ball to Sidgems. Sidgems centers it up, but that is thwarted by Systemic.
3 people going for the ball there. Unfortunately for Team 1, double commit is not what you want to see right now. Nerdy is in anguish just watching it.
I understand that not every team has worked together long enough to fix those situations, but if you haven't, you really got to be communicating. However, it's not been punished by anyone just yet, as we're still sitting at that 0-0 score line. Airstrike goes forward, has to play it around 2, so Sidgems comes in to help them out. It's a fantastic opportunity now for Sidgems to take a shot on goal. Stopped by Systemic, but the rebound off of Systemic finds goal number 1. That was beautiful.
Yeah, Sidgems just didn't need any teammates here. He's playing it all around Systemic, being his own follow-up, gets the first goal for Minions. Much the same as it was last game. So now almost 2 minutes have passed. We just have over 3 minutes in the second match. And he's just going to leave it for our airstrikes after that kickoff. Sidgems again with the follow-up. Systemic has to defend yet again.
Systemic carrying the ball forward now has a double commit between airstrikes and one of the other Sidgems Minions players. Not punished though. Chai going forward has 2 defenders in front of them. Cocoa Puffs will make the save. back passes the ball to Systems, who's now just going to carry it up to the mid, but has Systemic going for the challenge. They get it around one, but they have to get it around everybody else as well, and they will lose possession. Systemic goes for a slight reset play, but unfortunately, Rubik's whiffs the secondary touch. They will take out the goalkeeper instead. Ball has crossed over into Team 1 territory, though.
Cocoa Puffs shot toward goal, going to be denied by Chai. Airstrikes trying to get up there, but isn't able to get quite enough elevation to stop Team 1's play. Cocoa Puffs rotating back to be credited with a save. Sigim's looking for his clear. He's been so good at just getting clears constantly for his team, which allows him to make plays like this. That was a very nice redirect also by Cocoa Puffs. Seems like those game one jitters have been kind of worked out, performing more consistently, and Sigim's that was threading the needle right there.
It did end up getting saved by Systemic, but ball is still in Team 1 territory. Not where they want to be. I feel as though it's spent the last 2 minutes over here as well. Sigums does not find an opportunity to prevent the ball from crossing into the Sigum's minions territory. However, ball has already been put back into the blue side of the field.
Oh, nice try there by Cocoa Puffs, but the shot is wide to the corner. Still, I mean, I haven't seen much time at all that Team 1's been in control of it. It has all been them really defending. You can already see 5 clears on their activity feed, only 3 shots on goal, so they've definitely been on the back foot for the mass majority of this match.
Ball is in Minions territory, though, and Systemic and Shire trying to prevent it from leaving that orange half of the field.
I mean, but Sigim's is just so good at the way he clears the ball. Kind of been the designated clearer for his team. Doesn't seem like the ball hangs out in Minions territory for more than 20 seconds. With a miss like that, also that leaves it wide open for Cocoa Puffs. Systemic is heading around the corner. Minions still maintaining their 1-goal lead, but with the way it's been playing, it hasn't felt like a game that's only been separated by just 1 goal.
At this point, I feel like, you know, you can't beat Sigim's off their opportunity to make these great clears, and that aerial control was just demonstrating their prowess within the game of Rocket League. Maybe you send them to that respawn screen when you're on the offensive there, just to hit Team 1. You've got 30 seconds to implement that hit, though.
30 seconds to try to make their play. Chai bounces it off the corner. It is set up. Airstrikes misses. That's wide open. Cocoa Puffs being the savior. Sigim's rotates back for another save, and is now going to gain control of that ball, pushing it into the near corner. Can he center it or just flick it in himself? He is playing around all 3 members of Team 1, driving it down to 10 seconds, and now just 1 chance left for Team 1 to even this up. Can they find a buzzer beater, or will the clear go through? As long as the ball stays in the air, it's still a possibility for them. Sigim's looking to ground it, and a demo onto Sigim's. That's, like you said, Nerdy, that might open things up. But it hits the ground, and that is going to do it for Sigim's Minions with 73% of the shots on goal for that round. They win this best of 3 and move on to the top 4 teams. We will have the update on the bracket very close as to that as soon as we can. But also a reminder and a thank you to the USO for putting on this event for us. The USO offers great opportunities for service members to game and stay connected to family, home, and country. A few great ones we've seen are the USO Invitationals, USO Monthly Community Cups, and Salute to Service Showdown. To see upcoming events, you can visit battlefy.com/the-USO. So I kind of hinted at the standings there. We can kind of take another look at the bracket. If we don't see it updated, at least we can kind of see what we have to look forward to. We know that Sigim's Minions is moving on. So they're going to face either against Anderson or Gorilla. But I'm really most concerned about the upper half of the bracket because JJJ and also the Cobras, who aren't slacking in the Icon game themselves, too. They're also looking dapper.
Yes, and if you're struggling to see on your computer screen, it is a Cobra with a very, very nice bow tie. So, very dapper indeed. And of course, I love the funky Team Icon game that is happening here.
Yeah, it's basically the whole upper half of the bracket is almost custom icons, and I love it. But we're going to take a short break, be back with this tournament, and see who ultimately maintains their position in the upper bracket to go to the grand finals. It's a lot of teams who can make the move. We'll find out who makes that move after this.
A strong America is a force for good in the world, and the strength of our military is paramount to that mission. Wherever they go, the USO is there to keep our service members connected to everything that gives meaning to their service: family, home, and country. The USO is trusted to support our service members on all 7 continents. With more than 200 locations, Home for Our Troops is as close as the nearest USO center or program. The USO provides critical programming, connecting with service members and their families millions of times each year. From the moment they swear an oath, new recruits are welcomed by the USO's family of staff and volunteers.
I'm here to witness my son swearing in. It's nice to have basically a liaison to help people so they aren't as nervous of what their children are going to go through.
Separation and constant movement are an ever-present challenge for service members and their loved ones. The USO keeps military families strong, providing connection home and events for families and couples.
From the little Christmas events for the kids, or like we had a date night, the USO has given us time, not only together, time with our children, and things to do.
When troops are deployed, the USO provides a home away from home to help bridge the distance. On the front lines, a care package, a phone call home, comfort food, a familiar song, or a moment to relax can mean everything. When their military service to the nation is complete, the USO connects transitioning veterans with resources in their new communities and helps them plan for their next chapter.
We spend most of our time servicing the country, that when it's time to get out, we're usually behind the curve a little. The USO has come in and kind of get us a leg up on that transition so we can make the best move into a second career.
We are the USO, the force behind the forces. Go to USO.org to learn more.
Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. We're here today for the USO Indo-Pacific Rocket League 3v3 tournament where the United States active duty military located in Guam, Hawaii, Japan, Korea, and Okinawa are competing for their share of a $1,200 prize pool. As we can see here, this is how the tournament has played out so far. Sijim's Minions looking like one of the teams to beat as they are cruising towards securing their spot in the upper bracket. I'm your host, Jacob Jam Palmer, joined by Artie Nerdy Rain. And Sijim's already looking like a star player. Like, if there's any player that you're looking forward to kind of demoing going forward, it might be Sijim's.
Most definitely, and I am a fan of a Demolition Derby expert who picks one player and says, you're not playing this match. And I kind of will be playing myself, because sometimes you do end up in a double demolition and both of you just take each other out. But Sijim's, if someone is listening to any of my don't hate me too much, but if you're angry, go ahead and unleash the anger on Twitter. I'll listen.
Okay. There's one thing we know is that Nerdy likes getting into beefs on Twitter with the players, and always. That's one thing you'll see throughout a lot of broadcasts is Nerdy will just say, and at me on Twitter if you disagree.
Yeah.
Because I have been in a huge argument, and then they'll list all the players that they've specifically been in arguments with on Twitter. So discussing anything. But now let's get back to the event. We can actually do a kind of recap of how everything is playing out here. This is an event open to U.S. military active duty in Guam, Japan, South Korea, Hawaii, and Okinawa. Double elimination bracket, and all matches are a best of 3. And as it is, we are currently here in North America, which means we're on the other side of the world. It's evening for us, but morning over there for a lot of these teams. And just kind of a thing to look forward to going forward is just kind of when you're covering a match this far away around the world, sometimes internet issues can come into play. So the official rule set is it's 30 seconds. So if the team keeps playing for 30 seconds, then the game will be counted. But if someone drops out before 30 seconds has elapsed, then we will do a reset. So just something to keep in mind. This is ultimately what the teams are playing for in this tournament. $1,200 prize pool, with the winner splitting a cool $600, then $400 and $200. And also, that's just one of the great things about getting into kind of the grand finals position in the upper bracket, is that you guarantee yourself money no matter where you are. So the upper bracket, whoever gets to the final position in the upper bracket has already won something tonight.
Yeah, you get to walk away with money is pseudo in hand. That's always a nice thing to do, and also be like, my childhood hobby of video games got me money. Like, that is so nice to actually be able to experience nowadays, because that was something that rarely ever occurred back when, video game tournaments were first starting, or esports in general. And now, like, almost every single tournament, there is a prize pool of sorts. And you can say that it was never a useless hobby. You got cash. If anyone ever says you wasted your time, you're like,
see, Mom, there was a purpose.
Exactly. I won money.
We can also see the other games are in Game 3 right now. So these other matches are being quite competitive with the teams. We can see Team JJJ is going up against Wet Napkins at the upper part of the bracket. Then it's the Cobras versus Island Mercs. We already saw a little bit earlier in this broadcast. Sidgems Midgems looks like they're going to be going up against Gorilla here in what is kind of the, well, I guess you could call this quarterfinals of the upper bracket.
Excited to see how that works out for Team Gorilla Grippers, because we have not seen them just yet. So,
yeah, why I want to shorten that to just Gorilla, because you might be tongue twisting yourself as you go forward here.
Oh, I most definitely am going to be tongue twisting myself. I'm fully prepared for that, especially because in our time zone we're going till 11 o'clock.
I know,
possibly
longer.
Especially
if Gorilla Grippers go for the goal. You're gonna get tied up on all those G's.
Yeah,
Already.
You guys are shortened to Gorillas.
All right, we are actually going to check out a lower bracket game right now. It's the upper bracket. It's really close between all of the teams, so it's we're just waiting for everything to finish. So as we head into the lower bracket, we can see two entirely new teams as well that we haven't seen yet. They're fighting for their opportunity to stay in. It's going to be Anderson Axel versus Tested. Overall, both teams looking quite fierce here. These are some of the most intimidating logos I've ever seen. So both of these teams, might just be out for blood here.
That Tested logo kind of gives me heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, I know. It looks like, what is it, like an Oni mask?
Yeah, like the lower half of an Oni mask?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Kind of like Yoru's mask, but red.
But red and a lot scarier.
Yeah. The blue is chill with me, but you add the red and it gives off a vibe.
I know, but both these teams, going with the skull spooky motif here, or whatever the cultural equivalent there is in here. So
are they gonna? I wonder if their cars are gonna reflect the spooky motif.
I don't know. What do you pull out if you want to strike terror into the hearts of everyone else?
I'm the person who made a frickin' watermelon car. Okay.
That would be great if we just saw like all the cars neon colors for one of these teams, like the brightest, most pastel layout, just to kind of contrast.
Exactly. That would be hilarious. Actually, I would love to see that, but I highly doubt they have time to go hop into their car customization, like go back into the garage, fix everything, and then get back into lobby just to make that request a thing.
Yeah, but they might do it if they just want a reaction. But at this point, also, probably the stream delay also just, again, we're a long ways away from them. So you'd have to have pretty spectacular, outer space laser-connected internet, to...
Some of that Starlink?
Yeah, from that Starlink or just whatever suits your fancy, You'd have to have your own private satellite, basically, at this point, to get things in real time.
Oh, to be that rich.
Yeah, I know, but we are just going to have to stay on the ground with our altitude only getting a few feet off the ground as high as the rocket cars are able to get to, but they're not able to fly to outer space. But they can still do some great acrobatics, as we no doubt saw when we were watching Sidgems Minions. So I have to see if any other player is going to demonstrate that prowess. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Anderson Axel, the team that we're going to be seeing here went up against, I believe, the other team. Yeah, we can bring up the bracket again here and see who moved on. And we've got an update here as well that I am so glad to see. Shrek is living on in the bracket and moving on further. No offense to Team Web Napkins. I hope you do good in the lower bracket as well. But, I mean, the JJJ is just showing just complete style here.
Most definitely, and we might be a little bit biased because they have the Shrek logo.
I know. Well, whoever they're going to go up against, we're going to have a great logo pairing for the next one. Whether they go up against MU, Island Mercs, or Island Mechs, or the Cobras, it's going to be a great side-by-side versus that I can't wait to see.
Oh, yeah, and just because we are waiting on these people who are playing from thousands of miles away. If you are unaware, I owe my existence to the fact that we had people stationed in Okinawa, Japan. That is where half of my family is from, because that is where my grandfather, while he was stationed there, met my grandmother. So you guys have a special place in my heart. By no means am I making myself biased, because I do not know where any of these teams are located, so I don't know who is from Okinawa and who is from Guam, Hawaii, or Japan. But with that being said, if you're from Okinawa and you're one of our players from there, I appreciate you.
Yeah, it's interesting trying to find out where each of these teams were. The only hint was really the Onimas that we saw from Team Tested. Everyone else, it's kind of up for grabs for you to decide where they are stationed. I got to say, I would think the team from Hawaii is the most kind of out there in terms of time zones, because Japan and Seoul, Japan and Korea, pretty similar in time zones. Guam's a lot farther down, but Hawaii's a few hours off, kind of out there in the Pacific alone. It's closer. They're closer to each other than we are to them. I'll say that.
That is true.
So again, they're all playing in the morning here, where it's coming up against 9 p.m. for us. So it's getting closer to midday tea for them, and closer to just hitting the bed for us, because we're just gonna get very tired as we head forward here.
It's past my dinner time.
Yep, it's soon gonna be past bedtime as well.
For you, maybe not for me.
Maybe past time to be downtown as well, because, sometimes it's just, I got to drive home and it's this late at night. And you just want to go to bed. But now we still have to decide who is going to win this tournament and take home that $600 top prize. You can see on the camera, like I said at the beginning, you're seeing Nerdy's notes just gradually building down on the desk. What do you have tracking there?
So I am tracking map differentials, game differentials. So it's whether a team was +2 or if they didn't win at all. I'm not tracking goals scored, because that tends to get a little lopsided and doesn't really play much into future games, because just skill differential and some being too biased towards one side. But I did have to assume some here, but as we were told, all of the games that we had yet to see that were happening, that were concluding after we just did our last one, were in their third game, meaning whichever victor walked out won by 2 and the other team did win 1. So I'm keeping track of that as well, and just trying to keep track of the overall score differentials for the teams.
All right, now we head down to the lower bracket. This is Anderson Axel versus Tested. When they went up against Gorilla, which is going to be facing off against Sijim's Minions in the upper bracket right now, they lost 2-0. So both these teams have had a little bit of a rough time. Looks like Team Tested went down to the lowest bracket, losing their first game in the first round. So both these teams looking for the redemption here.
We'll see who gets their redemption opportunity and who has to call it quits for the night. And I had to score goal number 1.
I almost feel like a horse race announcer. That's a very something you'd name a racing horse.
Most definitely. I like it. It's very interesting, though, because if you get demoed, you'll literally see you got demoed by I had to.
And then I like, by comparison, we just have Ron. There's going to be who just scored. There's going to be no debate whatsoever on how to pronounce that.
Not at all. And they have a very, very cosmetically bright purpley car, and I'm here to dig it.
I mean, we were talking about with the two fierce team logos, we wanted to see some bright pastels. So that kickoff overall is going to go in favor of Axel, who it's just been 30 seconds into the match, and already they are ahead 2-0.
Early leads are great, but the question is, can you maintain it, or do you burn all of your momentum within that first 1 minute period? 4 minutes is plenty of time for Team Tested to bring this one back in their favor. If they maintain fantastic defense pressure and don't give away goals for free to Team Axel, they can turn this around.
Right now, they have yet to really get any sort of meaningful side control. You know, I had to trying to dribble the ball up, trying to flick it in. He's going to be denied by Whiskey Fox there, but not still waiting. Overall, I think maybe we were probably a little bit too intimidated by the Oni mask right now, because there hasn't been really that much of huge pressure put on by Tested here.
Not yet. We have Ron take a shot going too wide. Reaper Incarnate's going to be the one to corral it, but they push it too far forward to the midfield. Along, you know I had to grab it, pop it up. Unfortunately, they will lose possession to, as I'm about to try and read out that ridiculously long name, Kilo Whiskey Foxtrot, they're actually going to result in a goal in favor of Team Axel.
Now that makes it 3-0. So overall at this time, it looks like Anderson Axel is going to still probably have life in this tournament unless Tested can make a huge rally here. Okay, that's a long name here. I don't want to try to pronounce. There is a, oh, Reaper Incarnate. Okay, I'm sorry. I was looking at it completely the wrong way and thinking this had 7 syllables there. But no, I got it. Reaper, Kilo, and Oinks.
There we go. That's what you guys are all shortened to. No apologies from us. We have Hyde now trying to push forward. They're going to be challenged by Whiskey. Whiskey's challenge did result in possession staying in that corner for a little bit longer, but you know I had to. Now pushing forward, gets a great pinch, resulting in the ball sailing across midfield stripe into the corner inside Tested territory.
Ron is going to leave it for you know I had to. Up the right side furlong, continuing on his head ahead by just a horse's nose, but is not going to be able to find the goal quite yet. So now Team Tested has an opportunity here to score. Kilo Whiskey Fox credited with the shot on goal there, but that's the only one that Team Tested has had so far.
2 minutes, roughly 2 minutes left on the clock. Anderson Axel still leading by 3. Tested struggling to find their first goal and get a foothold here in game number 1. Ball is crossing midfield stripe thanks to Whiskey. It's going into the corner though, and none of their teammates were there, so you know I had to. Has free reign, but loses the ball in an awkward aerial dribble mishap. Ron gets a great save from Whiskey, shot on goal. Ball crossing midfield stripe now, and Ron pushing forward, see if they can get possession. Hyde's gonna whiff the barrel roll, shot on goal, still gonna be accredited.
You know I had to, chasing after this soccer ball, but not really turning it into a play that strikes fear into the hearts of those watching right now. They're still struggling against Anderson Axel right now. Ron again, that's a hat trick for him, and probably kind of the end here.
The end of game number 1. Tested still has the opportunity to, well, it's their last opportunity in the next game to rekindle their fire and fix what's gone wrong in the last few games for themselves, because they've got 90 seconds to make 4 goals. Not impossible, but very difficult to pull off for anybody in this tournament thus far. But Tested, that's goal number 5. I'm basically jinxing it at this point. Tested in the next 5-minute game. That is for all of the marbles, and no more mistakes can happen if you're looking to stay in this tournament and walk away with a bag of cash.
And you just brought up, you know, all the marbles. Any mistake here is going to knock you out. We actually do have the first team that has just been knocked out coming over, so I will give us an update on who that was as we end this match, because we only have 1 minute left. Tested is finding themselves under a whole lot of pressure. You know I had to. Now Ron trying to get the goal there. It's left up to Hyde, and Hyde finds it. He's going to drive it to 6-0 with just 1 minute left. I don't care who you are, that's probably too tall of an order to get.
Ron actually smacked Hyde from behind.
That's the car equivalent of the athletic slap. You know what I mean?
It worked out, Ron, but I don't know if that was the plan. I think that was a double commitment.
Just say it was all part of the plan.
Yeah, we'll just say it was calculated, Ron, for your sake.
At this point, it looks like Anderson Axel is going to be just cruising along to a victory here. So we have just 40 seconds left. Going to drive it to 7 goals because, of course, why not?
You know I had to. I don't think you had to.
You probably didn't at this point. But
Well,
they still did.
They did. We've got 40 seconds. Team Tested can put a goal on the board for themselves as a morality boost going into game number 2, which, as we mentioned, is the last opportunity they will have to keep themselves in this tournament. Got Mr. Meeksies Oinks trying for an opportunity to get this ball away from Ron. Ball is in Axel territory, but it seems like possession immediately just swaps over, and they take the ball across midfield stripe with no pressure on them. Shot on goal from Ron. Follow-up shot from Reef by Death will be shot wide.
Whiskey Fox with a little bit of a tap there that isn't really going to turn into a clear. Now just 15 seconds left in what is assuredly an Anderson Axel win. It's 10 seconds. At this point, I don't think they'll be able to turn things around. So they'll have next game to try to salvage everything before they get knocked out of the tournament, if they don't want to get knocked out of the tournament completely. Overall, though, I promised you that update, and the first team gone in the lower bracket is going to be Iwakuni Gaming Club. So thank you for playing. They went up against Team 1, which we also saw earlier, so Team 1 advancing in the lower bracket. But now we can head back up to the upper bracket. We see all 4 teams are lined up in the quarterfinals, if you will. You can see it's Team JJJ versus Island Mercs. Minions against Gorilla. So maybe we'll jump to one of those if we can here. Get back up and see who overall is going to be making the huge play. Sigim, as we saw in Sigim's Minions, is such a scary player, can get those clears so reliably. But we've yet to see JJJ, and I just want to see that logo in the matchup graphic once tonight.
Oh, you'll get it, most definitely. There's no way we're not. Is there wood nearby? Okay, this is wood.
Knocking on wood. It looks like we're also going to another lower bracket game just to see. We do get to see the very sharply dressed Cobras going up in here. So that is nice. I do like that they dressed for the occasion. But look here, they're going up against, they went up against Island Mercs in the top bracket, and that's how they got up in the lower bracket. They lost that one 2-0. They're going up against HFH in the lower bracket.
This is our first opportunity to take a look at Team HFH. Let's see what they can bring to the table. This is their redemption game. Let's see who ends up redeeming themselves and moving forward, and who ends up throwing in the towel for the remainder of this tournament and walking away with a bag of tears as opposed to a bag of cash.
Yes, and which is worth considerably less monetary-wise.
I mean, I'm not going to finish my comment.
Okay. Let's just leave it at that and just move on. We are moving on in this tournament to the lower bracket. Cobras versus HFH. Let's see who can overall clean things up and maybe continue to get themselves. I'm trying to look. Overall, if you make it to the finals in the lower bracket, I do believe you also guarantee yourself money too. Because you're going to be going up against a team in the upper bracket, so then you either get first or second. We're just getting the word here that we just got to remake the lobby. As we said, we just sometimes have those issues connecting so far away around the world, but it's so interesting. You mentioning the history of your family military station in Okinawa. I find that so interesting. Because in terms of my family getting stationed, my brother, who's in the military, he got stationed a lot closer. He actually got stationed in Chicago.
Oh, that's nice.
But hey, that's what COVID will do. It'll completely change your strategy around, and all of a sudden, your deployment is handing out vaccines. But hey, whatever the call, wherever you are destined to answer the call of duty, wherever these teams right now are, whether they be in the regions that we have mentioned beforehand, they are looking to try to continue on in this tournament. You can see we're going to have, it looks like Drippy, Genuine Risk, and Van going against US Guam, 1, 4, and 5. So, but hey, we know where that team's from now. We've answered the first question in terms of geolocation.
So thank you, team That's Team HFH, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
Team HFH.
Letting us know they are from Guam, but right now Team Cobras is up by 2 as we have 4 minutes and change left on that clock. Genuine Risk taking a shot. It's going to be way too wide.
Both teams are in Guam, we have heard here, too.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's the first. Wow, Genuine Risk. Just kind of sneaking it in there. Already kind of pushing them to a very big lead. I also think Van also probably played a little bit in that. Looks like he deflected. So now just 1 minute into the match, 3-0 Cobras. We had a little bit further into this match. Cobras looking like the dominant team so far. Whoever wins this match is going to go up against Wet Napkins or the Banana Boys. So either one of those teams is going to face off against the winner of this match in the lower bracket. And whoever wins that might have a chance of facing off against Team 1. We're just seeing which teams stay alive and which teams fold under the pressure. Looks like, unfortunately, there, 5, 1, and 4 just not finding the defense that they're looking for. Looks like it's kind of a Cobra blowout right now.
Most definitely. Though they are not the Purple Cobras, they are still doing a fabulous job. Let's see if they can maintain this amount of aggression and goal scoring going forward from here, because this is their redemption. They cannot make mistakes from here on out. Still best of 3 so in the lower bracket. So nothing has changed too much except for what is at stake.
Around the corner, this is the first opportunity that HFH has had really to score here. One answers that, but also one of the things that I'm seeing that I'm sure you've noticed also, Nerdy, is there's not a lot of aerial play at all for like HFH here.
No, but if you don't feel comfortable doing it, I definitely would, in this situation, shy away from trying to go for aerial play, because it's not, they may make it look easy, Rocket League players can, but it's not.
It is not easy.
No.
When you actually try to pick up the controller or keyboard yourself,
it is by no means easy. So, I mean, yes, aerial gameplay and prowess in Rocket League can definitely demonstrate your comfortability with the game, and also kind of demonstrates to me probably your rank in the game if you're capable of doing it and have done it multiple times in a single match. But thus far, we've seen very, very few players do it, excluding You Know I Had To, as well as Sijum. And Risk has done a little bit, but not a whole lot, as we have Drippy Glizzy find a goal for themselves as well. Another one in favor of Team. Actually, I believe that is the first one going in favor of Team Cobra?
No. Cobra still is hardly the first one.
That is for Team Cobra.
It's kind of the opposite there, but overall, Team Cobra is looking pretty comfortable to move on in this lower bracket match. 4 is just trying to stop the bleeding here. It's only able to kind of barely deflect it, keep the 7th goal from being scored. 1 doesn't really find the clear he was looking for.
Risk tries to play it around Troop 4, can't do it though. Troop 4 tries to get possession, ball still here in the corner. Ven finds a goal for Team Cobras. That is number 7 for our blue team here.
So I'm trying to kind of work out everything being equal right now, and that's kind of, it's probably, yeah, it would be 15 seconds per goal here that you'd have to score to make up that 7-goal deficit.
That's a GG go next type situation. At
Yep.
this point in the game, less than half of the match left, 7 goals. Pretty much impossible at the rate that HFH is playing. They are honestly, they just need to find 1, but they can't overcommit on that 1 and allow Van to break free. No one was home, but they were not punished. There was no break-in. Ball's going to go back to the midfield. Guam unfortunately pushed the ball too far forward, allowing for an easy circumvention there by Drippy to go and push the ball across midfield stripe again.
And following here, just going to get demoed there by 4. Maybe that opens up something for HFH here, but doesn't really look like it as Drippy finds the clear. He's going to chase it all the way back to the orange side of the field. 1 minute left in this match. Cobra's looking confident, looking ready to move forward, looking like they're going to survive. You know, you said, Nerdy, that this is kind of a GG go next situation. The problem is we're in the lower bracket, so there really isn't a next. It's either win here in this match or get knocked out of the tournament.
Yes, that is unfortunately true, but at the end of the day, it's still a best of 3. What? We're not gonna. We didn't see anything. Now Risk is gonna go forward possession. Ball gets pushed into the corner where Troop 4 is waiting for it. They pop it up, manage to get it past Van, but there is the bunch up strat here for HFH is not working out. It makes breakaways impossible, clears borderline impossible, and Drippy recognizes that easily, carrying the ball in to find goal number 8 for the Cobras.
Never want to play bunch ball. That's the game you'll never win. Now that makes it 8-0, 9-0. I underestimated how far this landslide truly was. 4 gets the better of that, but that's because Cobras didn't contend that at all. And another, they're going to go into double digits. I mean, really, at this point, you know, it's not like we can get too excited about that because it's just a regular occurrence at this point.
Yeah, no offense, Cobras, but you're really going to have to impress me for me to get excited by any of your goals. That's a very interesting conga line strat created there by HFH, but it worked out. Ball is inside Cobra territory. They threw around 2 players in front of the goal. Genuine Risk was the one to not get touched by any of the HFH players. Managed to get the ball across the midfield stripe, but not without ramming into 2 of the orange cards again. Now we have Guam, and I believe that's Troop 4 looking for a 1 goal here to morality boost their squad. Fortunately, though, ball is grounded at the 0-second mark, and that means game ends.
Oh my goodness. I think we can just leave it at that, and you know,
no comment.
Yeah, no comment. Since 1941, the USO has been the nation's leading organization to serve the men and women in the U.S. military and their families throughout their time in uniform. From the moment they joined their assignments and deployments and as they transition back to the communities, the USO is always by their side. Also, big news out there for you USO fans. The USO August Community Cup Madden NFL 23, anchored by NEX, is happening next Saturday, and you can register at battlefy.com/theUSO for a chance to participate in that, compete for monetary awards as it is for the teams in this tournament right now.
That's pretty cool. I'm terrible at Madden. I'm good at FIFA. I can't play Madden for anything. You might as well put a dog on the controller as opposed to me. They'll probably have more luck. But if you do register for that, best of luck to you. And if you can manage to actually play that game with skill, you are amazing because I have no idea what's going on.
You can at least say you're good at one type of football. Let's put it that way.
Yes, there we go. Yeah, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that because
you can just say you're good at football and then just
leave it at that. And
let the equivocation work in your favor.
If you're American, you might think one thing, but if you have lived elsewhere, you might
But you can just say you're technically telling the truth and you're covering all your bases.
Yes!
It looks like we're just going to head back into this match. Cobras versus HFH to see who gets knocked out of the tournament right now. At this point, 1-4 and there's still 4 minutes, 50 seconds to go.
I am still rooting for HFH.
I want them to get a goal here.
As do I.
We were talking about kind of the interesting strategy. We might see unorthodox strategies. I have to say the conga line strategy sure looked nice.
I have never seen that.
It was aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. And they were equally spaced. Made my brain happy.
And, yep, it's just gonna trickle by here at this point. We actually, right now, can also get kind of a live look at Team UFH in the gaming facility right now that they're competing in the USO.
I hope they're all having a great day.
Yeah, I really hope they're still having a good day.
That looks comfy, though, man.
Remember, they are playing overall into Guam. They are playing over 6,000 miles away.
Good morning. I hope you guys had a good breakfast.
Although we were also saying, we were talking about the differences between America and Europe or whoever. You know, the countries that use kilometers. So to convert that, that's over 9,500 kilometers away as well. So almost 10,000 kilometers away from us right now. These two teams are playing both stationed in Guam.
Wow.
Modern technology can just wow you sometimes.
Absolutely crazy. We have Drippy finding another goal for Team Cobras. Honestly, Cobras, I feel like the team that knocked y'all out of the top bracket is a force to reckon with, or you guys were doing the sneaky strat, trying to have an easier time to work through the brackets, intentionally throwing yourself out early from the top bracket so that you could then just go through the bottom bracket, sail through, and not exhaust yourself by the end. It's a genuine strategy. I've seen teams do it. Do I think it's a good strategy? Yes. Do I think it's a kind strategy? No.
The team that knocked them out were Island Mercs, and we actually have some updates on the upper bracket too, which I'm sure will be filled in after we're done casting this game. Still waiting to see who wins this, which whoever wins this match, we can also get, okay, I've got an update here. Banana Boys facing off against Wet Napkins. Banana Boys have been knocked out. Wet Napkins won that one 2-0, so most likely if the trend continues here, Cobras are going to be going up against Wet Napkins in the lower bracket. They're going to be fighting with team against, on the other side of the lower bracket is going to be Team 1 trying to face off either against Tested or Anderson Axel. And in that particular matchup, it's already 1-0. So in favor of Anderson Axel.
But for now, we still have 3 minutes and 30 seconds left here. HFH has found their first goal, but they have to make up now 5 more, which is, again, extremely difficult to do. Might just want to start picking a player and making sure they can't play the game to make the space easier to conquer for your own team. My apologies, it is 5-1, but there's 3 minutes, 30 seconds left. Definitely enough time to find 4 goals just to equalize it. Not looking to go above the 5-goal mark, just equalize it, but you cannot let them get away, these Cobras, with any more of these free shots on goal. Fantastic dunk coming out from HFH will result in the ball in Cobra territory. Drippy returns it, but there is a goalkeeper in place to send the ball away with a follow-up from Troop 4. It's crossing midfield, striking back to Cobra territory.
I do like that play from 4, though. That was a great rotation back. Kind of the insurance to keep HFH in the running. Turned it into kind of a counterattack to try to get the goal. Unfortunately, for HFH, that is not where they want to see the demos being brought out. One is going to be taken out of the action. Now respawns as they're... Oh, it's an interesting way to push the soccer ball up the field. I can't say it's too terribly effective, though. And Drippy gets a hat trick.
Congratulations, Drippy.
I mean, at this point, it is just a question of getting back to the fundamentals, you know. Even if you're not comfortable aerial playing, you can't all be bunched up like that. You have to spread out on the field. See another conga line there.
This is not salsa class.
Ball gets grounded as 5 minutes of that leaves it to 4. It's kind of actually a pretty good give and go there, I gotta say. That's some decent passing. Thing is, they need to turn that into a shot on goal, and just hits the button a little bit too late there.
Drippy's going to push forward. Troop sails in, steals it away. Ball's going to hit the ceiling. Does not appear as though they're ready for it. However, one of their teammates was, pops it right back up, but Drippy will elevate, dunk the ball in front of the goal. 2 defenders go after it. One a little bit too late, one a little bit too low, and that is another goal in favor of the Cobras.
Now goes to 7-1 in this match. Cobras looking like they probably want to head this into double digits just like last time. 2 minutes left on the timer. And well, that's better than 3 initially committing to the ball. They're just down to 2 here, so we're making positive progress.
Word of advice: determine who's going to go for the ball off kickoff, and then the other 2 go get boost.
But I think also one thing that needs to be said here is, this kind of proves it's easy for us to stay on a desk, but again, we cannot stress how hard this game can be in terms of grasping the controls. Like, it is not easy by any means. It's easy for us to say, oh, that aerial play was a miss, or oh, they whipped on that one. we struggle just as much.
Yeah, I am that out-of-shape parent you see on the soccer field sidelines yelling at their kid to run faster, and you're like, do you know how to run?
I like to think of it as the Olympic judge eating potato chips, knocking 5 points off for just being a few millimeters off the dismount.
Yes, exactly. But Van looks like they're going to get a shot a little bit too wide, not enough forward momentum on it. Results in Guam being able to get possession, but booped around by Troop 4. Results in Guam losing their own possession on the ball. Risk's going to just easily pop the ball up and into the net, getting themselves a hat trick as well. And I think we are down to the last 56 seconds here in game number 2, and it's heavily favoring Team Cobras.
Yep, most definitely at this point, it is most likely a blowout for Team Cobras. Going to be moving on in the lower bracket, most likely to face off against Wet Napkins. Just looking also just for an update here on just where everyone stands. Anderson Axel has indeed beaten Tested, so they will now go up against Team 1 in the lower brackets. We already saw Team 1 and Anderson Axel playing. And once we get out of this game, we'll also have an update on the upper bracket. We will bring up in our graphic. Right now, we're just counting down the last few seconds in this match. Cobras versus HFH. HFH managed to find a goal, but that's the only one they're going to have to themselves, as this match looks to be a done deal with Cobras moving on.
I want HFH to get one more. They can do it. And they're gonna do it. And troop number 4 in the aerial play beautifully sails in with this, brings it up from their own back third, off the wall, does a flip reset, and dunks it down into the net. Absolutely gorgeous, troop number 4.
Hats off to you. And hey, you called that out. One of your predictions out of 100 has to come true eventually.
There was so much shade in that.
Listen. If you want to throw some my way too, okay?
I will later. I'll find something.
Okay, cool. Because we know I'm a good sport in that.
Of course. And I do believe, yes, ball's going to hit the ground, and Cobras are going to walk away with a 2-0 victory. Very heavy-handed at that. But best of luck going forward. I mean, if you manage to claw your way back all the way through, well, slither your way all the way back through the redemption bracket to the higher brackets, I wish you luck, because I don't think they're going to go as easy as this game did for you guys. HFH, nicely done on getting at least 2 goals to your name during that match, especially when the... Oh, okay, so Drippy's spouse is in our Twitch chat currently cheering them on. So Drippy, you have a fantastic spouse, and to that spouse, you're amazing. Thank you for being here and watching this. But yes, Cobras, best of luck doing that in the future games, because it's not going to be as easy for you. And HFH, way to keep your mental strong and still playing your very best all the way to the end.
Now we can see an update on the upper bracket. JJJ Shrek has fallen to the lower bracket. He's not out of it, but it's looking... It's looking a little bleak here. Island Mercs moving on in that one. They beat Team JJJ 2-0 in their match, by the way, too. So that was a complete shutout. And Sijam's Minions against Gorilla Grippers, they won that 2-0 too. So the Island Mercs and Sijam's Minions look to be 2 very formidable teams. They both advanced to the semifinals, completely blowing out the competition. So it's going to be tricky.
I've run out of space here, and I had to move over to the side. Now my
2
board
columns.
is this big.
Well, yeah. Well, we'll give you a little bit of a chance to kind of organize it. I think since we've seen 2 games, we'll take another break and be back with more, if I am not mistaken. And we're actually going to take a look at the first bracket finals here going forward. So actually, we're just going to jump right back up to the first bracket and see Island Mercs versus Sijam's Minions. Again, Sijam's is kind of one of the top players that we saw in terms of his ability to clear everything and just be a great defensive as well as offensive player. I have to wonder what Island Mercs brings to the table. Again, Island Mercs had formerly Panda, McMeerkat, and a J5.
I'm really trying to figure out what there among us is like grasping.
That is true. I don't know. It looks... I really don't know. I couldn't even venture a guess there.
It's cute. I appreciate the work that y'all put into that. Though it looks like it might have been stolen from the Reddit I don't know if any of you are familiar, but Reddit brought back their April Fools. Everyone got to draw on a giant pixel board together for 24 hours. It looks like it was stolen from that. And I kept a close eye on that thing. There were some interesting things on there, but there was a lot. And I do mean a lot of Among Us. Like, people would literally zoom in on these beautiful, beautiful masterpieces and go in and make these tiny, tiny little Among Us characters. So that you could barely, if you were looking away at the full fit piece of artwork, you couldn't tell that those little blue dots were actually the masks on the Among Us characters until you zoomed in, and then you saw this entire beautiful masterpiece was made of nothing but Among Us, and you're just like, how do we get away from this? How does this stop?
Sure.
And they just kept multiplying.
And it just kept multiplying, and it just turned into something uncontrollable.
They were there until the very end. It was horrifying.
It was horrifying. Well, it might be here. The Island Mercs might be here to the very end, too.
It would be nice because they did knock out Team JJJ, and to anyone that did end up getting knocked out of the tournament completely, to whomever knocked you out, you have to say now you have to win it all, and you have to do it for me as well. That is just how you are a good sport in any esport event in general.
All right, so as we're ready to head back into the upper bracket and to the upper bracket finals, we're going to find out who moves on to the grand finals very shortly here. But overall, as we get ready to see the top two teams, overall, I'm still trying to think back to what Island Mercs brought, and I still think Sijum is such a good player. The problem is that the whole team is built around him.
Exactly, and when you have that one strong player, it can make them a very, very easy target for a playstyle we've been talking about here.
Sure. We desperately want to see.
Yes.
We're not going to remind you again, but we're going to remind you again.
Yeah, sorry, Sig. But with that being said, that can also be an undoing because it seemed like the other two players that were, no offense, but you named yourself this, the Minions, struggled to make plays themselves. Like, they heavily relied on Sijum actually being the playmaker, and then when Sijum backed off towards the end after being like, okay, we have the lead, it's secure, I don't need to do much anymore, and just play the defensive role, they really struggled as a duo to put the goals in net.
Yeah, we were talking about just how good Sijum was and some of the plays that he can make. Probably the most adept aerially, I also have to say. Like, was just making some beautiful aerial plays. This wasn't one of them, but it was still a good play. You can see another one here. I also say Cocoa Puffs was kind of also the one who redeemed themselves later on, but had a few key whiff moments as well.
Most definitely. And I will point out that Team Cobra actually was knocked out by Island Mercs in this tournament. That's what sent them down to the lower bracket. And I will say, based off of what we saw earlier, I'm a bit confused because it did seem like the aerial prowess of Team Cobra was quite strong as well as Team Island Mercs. So something tells me that there might have been a little bit of a sneaky play happening here. But for now, we're going to see Sijum's Minions take on the Island Mercs.
This is the upper bracket grand final. Sijum's going to start things off with a bang. I mean, someone needs to shut this guy down.
Yes, and there is a beautiful way to do
Look
that.
at that! That is just insane that you're able to play it with an angle like that. Again, bring out the demos.
Going into our next kickoff is going to be J5 and Sijum's going for it. The pinch off results in the ball going into Minions territory. Airstrikes gets the save off of Panda's shot on goal. Ball in the corner. It's going to be Sijum's carrying it out. J5 goes for the challenge and wins it, but Cocoa Puffs is going to be the one on the ground to crowd the ball away. Formerly Panda goes up for the challenge. We got a double commit there between two of the Island Mercs players at the mid. Rotation's breaking down a little bit. Cocoa Puffs looking for an opportunity. Nope, it's Sijum's, but the ball is in Minions territory yet again.
Sijum's doing his specialty in finding a clear. Now Cocoa Puffs is going to continue to drive it up the field. Meerkat off in the corner, still unable to find his play. J5 moves it up the field. Strikes again, trying to set it up. Coco sees the opportunity, is going to drive it home.
Beautiful Cocoa Puffs. Well, that's a sentence I never thought I was going to say in my entire life, but there you go. Nicely done, Cocoa Puffs.
Nice job there indeed, finding that redemption that we were talking about. Now Sijum's Minions leading 2-0 thus far.
See if they can maintain this early lead as there's still 4 minutes left in game number 1 here. And early leads can be deceptive. It's either an avalanche or it turns over in the other team's favor. However, Airstrike Solo plays off a save here from across the map. You can see them elevate, bring the ball down. No one to beat. They take their time, few touches, and the ball goes into the net.
You know, we're seeing Sigim's minions do so well right now. I gotta give a shout out to Team 1, which is still fighting in the lower bracket right now. They're the only team thus far who managed to take a game away from Sigim's minions. Remember that game that we saw from them? It went 2-1, and the goal was only like a 1-goal difference between them and Sigim's minions. So that might also be a team to kind of root for in the lower bracket, or a team that could very well advance to the grand finals, because right now, nothing too harsh against Island Mercs, but Team 1 has been the only team thus far that we've seen that has shown that they can stand toe-to-toe with Sigim's minions.
I did do a golf clap, so you couldn't hear it over my mic, but I was clapping for Team 1 because you guys did a great job. But Sigim's showing off their prowess yet again, finding another goal for Sigim's minions. Nicely done. J5 tried to go for the challenge, but couldn't quite get the right angle, and Sigim's just carried it right in.
Yeah, I think we might have a grand champion, or at least a champion in our midst.
Possibly.
Possibly. Just playing, running circles around at the other team right now. And a double commit there from Island Mercs. And look at that, they immediately get punished for it. You cannot double commit because Sigim's is going to score the goal. It's not what you want to see right there. It's just, there's no one back there on back post, no one even close to rotating back.
Can't lose your basic mechanics under pressure. Understand that it's difficult. They got 3 minutes to find 5 goals. That is doable. But if you let any more go through just due to breaking down rotations like that, it will become impossible.
McMeerkat now going to drive it toward the goal and is saved by Cocoa Puffs. Now continues to move up the field, passing it over to Sigim's. Beautiful redirect. It's just not quite on the goal, but it's right in front of the goal right now.
Okay.
Formerly Panda just barely able to save that.
That one, if it had gone in, there would have been a giant question mark above my head for the remainder of the evening. But Sigim's going for another opportunity. He's going to have to play it off the wall, go for the redirect, and finds it. And that's going to be another goal for Sigim's. Sigim's, cool it. Calm down. It's like the end of the night yet.
Yeah, I mean, remember, this is the upper bracket finals, and Sigim's minions is just blowing everyone out of the water. Already to 6-0. Remember, Island Mercs are gonna have another opportunity to try to win here. So at this point, they really maybe need to pay attention and focus. Okay, what are the openings that we can see against Sigim's minions? You know, what are the strategies that we can implement going into the second game?
And the Island Mercs are no one to scoff at either. I mean, J5 is able to challenge Sigim in mid-flight and has actually done some fantastic goofing around and disruption. It just seems like it's not being fully communicated, and we've seen McMeerkat score fantastic goals in the other games, and Panda as well. So they're a very strong team. They just, something I think got in their heads between what we saw earlier and to now, and we're just losing some basic mechanical prowess that they demonstrated in earlier games.
Redeflect there by Sigim's is still going to play off of that. You know, one thing I'm also thinking of this time is Sigim's is so good with the aerial play, and to do that you need a lot of boost. Maybe Island Mercs can maybe play a little bit of the boost starving game. If you take away the resources away from Sigim's to make his key plays, that could be something to help you. You know, watch your corner boost as well. Don't allow Sigim's to steal them away. Maybe you might open some opportunities for yourself.
Well, that's exactly what Sigim's is doing right now. I saw Sigim's, they stole a corner boost from the Mercs, making it difficult for them to get the ball away from him during that entire time the ball is standing over in Mercs territory. Sigim's again at the midfield, plays it into the center, but no one's going to be there right away. Sigim goes for the disruption play, allowing...
Look again, he steals it again.
Yeah, Airstrike to just come in with one-on-one, and they play and find another goal for their team. Yeah, there's another boost stolen right away from Panda. Resource management, though it's not something we talk about frequently here on Dusk, is very important. Those bars that we have here show how much of that resource these players have, and stealing it away from a team that's on defense makes it extremely difficult for them to capitalize on defense, like great breakaways, and even to find the opportunity to make those breakaways.
Sijims puts a shot there, plays off of it, and this is just, oh my goodness. This is a rough one. I mean, what is there to say that we haven't already said here?
I'll say it again. Demo Sijims. If you can't beat him on the field, beat him on the mental front. Tilt him. It's a strategy, I promise you. It's not the best one. You'll find people saying it's not a good one on Twitter, but demoing people is a genuine
But you know what?
strategy.
Is there any other option
No.
right now? You need to find some strategy that works.
Not. Boom his mental. Send that human being to the respawn screen. There he is. Just take him out.
Yeah, they're not going to do it quite now. Now Cocoa Puff's going to try to find the breakaway. McMeerkat unable to make a team, and oh, that was a rough match right there. 8-0. Sijims Minions just blowing Island Mercs out of the water. Again, I got to say, Team 1 is looking more and more impressive by the time, even though they're in the lower bracket right now, because of how even they were with Sijims Minions.
Most definitely. Or Sijims Minions was like pulling themselves back, and we don't fully know yet, but I don't know what's going on. We only get like a quarter, well, half-ish of the picture because we're not able to see every single game and every single moment in those games. To a viewer, you are seeing as much as we are seeing. So we can only make assumptions about what's happening, but yes, hats off to Team 1. Y'all survived a battle to like the deaths against this team, obviously, with how much they are throwing out right now. So yes, we could see you in our grand finals if you make your way back to the redemption bracket. Won't be an easy task, but it's very doable.
It is very doable. And remember, you know, we're talking all right now about how Sijims Minions is kind of dominating. We have seen lots of times in the USO before bracket resets actually happen. So, you know, you don't want to count anyone out until the actual final game.
Yes, and keep in mind that that bracket reset can be a real thing that messes players up because it means we do it all over again. And it is difficult to deal with. That's a lot of Rocket League to play in one night.
It is.
Sorry, one morning.
In one morning, too. Yeah, we got to keep reminding ourselves here. Okay, this is this is the time more than ever, I think your advice of having to reset mentally to 0-0 has to come into place. You can't let Sijims get into your head. You got to find a way to deny him that boost and make your play right now. I like that.
Yes!
That's what I want to see. Do more of that.
If you don't have the boost and the speed to take him out, just boop him around. Make sure he can't. Well, that Sijims cannot make contact with the ball, or they can't maintain contact because you're just throwing your car at them. That was absolutely perfect, McMeerkat. Do it again.
Formerly Panda's going to be waiting to try to defend here.
No!
Oh.
So close. I really thought fourth man, that strong crossbar was going to save it, but I was wrong.
No, it doesn't. The angle just doesn't work out there. The crossbar really needs to step up against Sijims, I got to say.
Exactly. Not doing enough, crossbar. Show me more. Ooh,
oh,
J5.
I like that play. Moving in, they're showing. McMeerkat's going to make it to the goal off the backboard. Is there a follow-up to try to score on it? Firmly Panda, it's too far back, though.
Oh, that was so close. Almost perfect. Now J5 back in that back post position. Makes a great save off Sijims' shot on goal. Panda's going to elevate and just throw one of the Minions players out of position in that aerial flight, allowing Panda to bring the ball into the corner. Definitely the Island Mercs are getting aggressive, and I'm here for it.
Sijims plays around J5, though. McMeerkat is able to find a clear. There's Strikes, who also has had a few good shots on goal, is going to keep the pressure up. And again, they're flirting with danger here, but Formerly Panda sees it. Can he play around Sijims? That's going to be a tough task, though. And Sijims, again, it's just been too good in that aerial play. Take the boost away from him. He gets it again.
But ball has been volleyed to back there in Sijims' territory. Formerly Panda's going to get demoed. McMeerkat will return the favor, taking out Cocoa Puffs. Ball is in Merc's back. Third elevation from Sijims. And dunked down from Sijims. Volk will send the ball to the mid where Cocoa Puff's going to bring it up the wall. Challenged by Formerly Panda, results in the ball dying down here in the corner, corralled by McMeerkat. Can't get away from Sijims, though. Sijims, someone shut this human being down. Clip their wings. Don't let him take the boost. It was right there. All of you just saw it. They left the boost there for Sijims to just eat it right up. Just even if you're not at like 80% still on your boost, just go take it.
They bumped him again, though.
Don't let Sijims eat it.
There you go. They managed to take it away from him there. They still... Oh, man, they need to open up more opportunities for themselves. They're just defending way too much. but I mean, this isn't a blowout, at least. You know, this is still in the realm of possibility here. 1-0. It's taken away from Sidgems, please.
Shot on goal, a little, almost goes in. The follow-up from Cocoa Puffs does find its way in, bringing Sidgems Minions up to 2. I mean, we're past the halfway mark. This is a drastically different scoreline than we saw in game number 1. Definitely demonstrating the Minions, well, the Minions are having a bit more difficulty, and I think it's the Island Mercs playing for the disruption more than they were earlier.
We're just finding as much excuses as we possible to see Sidgems demoed.
Again, no offense, Sidgems. It just means that
you're just too good right now.
You're doing too much. We need to cool your jets somehow.
We need to bring you back to planet Earth. Oh, nice bit of disruption there. Looks like Sidgems has also denied the boost. I like that, though. Yeah. They're taking away. They're taking their own boost away. Even though Sidgems got some boost in the midfield, you need to stop him there, and he gets another one.
Okay, up by 3. A minute 59, 8 seconds left on the clock. Plenty of time to find 3 goals. Plenty of time.
You just need to shut down the main playmaker here. See if they can do it right now. This kickoff. Sidgems isn't going to win that one outright. McMeerkat might spy a breakaway out. Airstrikes is going to save that. Now J5 and McMeerkat, they both committed on that one, though. You cannot afford, in this matchup especially, to do double commits. You have to make sure you're disciplined. Yes! He gets the first goal. Island Mercs still in it.
Nicely done, McMeerkat. They're showing that they are alive and not giving up just yet. 2 goals is all they need, and they have plenty of time in the terms of Rocket League to find them. They just can't let any more go in for the Minions.
Now, how is this kickoff going to work? Sidgems is the one to contest most of these kickoffs. Also, I'm paying very close attention to where the boost is on the field, where Sidgems is in relation to that. He's low on boost, but he's going to pick up the, he gets it again. So it's going to be more intense aerial play here.
Oh, that was unfortunate between 2 of the Island Mercs players colliding with each other when the ball was hitting the ground. Oh. Airstrikes has a whiff, as does, I believe, formerly Panda. Ball is sent to the corner. No. Sidgems sends it to the other side. It's a whiff on the goal shot because it was just too wide and too high.
No, and those corner boosts have been waiting there for way too long.
No. Go take the boost. Go take the boost. Sidgems doesn't
need
it.
Get it. He doesn't need it. Take it. You need it more than he does. There you go.
Nicely done, Sidgems.
Nice!
Don't they threw him into the corner boost. No!
Oh, I was too excited by the fact that they bumped into him.
Well, they've taken a lot of time off that clock, though. I mean, the ball has spent a lot of time in Island Mercs territory. However, that was some great defense and disruption play that they played onto Sidgems. Ball's been volleyed right back into Island Merc territory. They've got 15 seconds per goal right now if they can prevent this one from going in, but they need to get this ball out of their area. J5 finds the opportunity to do so, but Cocoa Puffs doesn't get pressured and just easily pops the ball back up towards the mid. McMeerkat goes for the shot. It's going to be saved by Sidgems. J5, though, goes for the rebound play, but is challenged in mid-flight by Cocoa Puffs.
Just 10 seconds left, and it looks like Sidgems Minions are going to be moving on to the grand finals. That, in fact, does it. He gets a hat trick for himself. Most likely the final dagger in the heart for Island Mercs. Sidgems Minions punching their ticket to the grand finals and guaranteeing themselves that they're going to at least walk away with some money tonight.
Yes. It's not the end of the road here for the Island Mercs, though. We are still in the upper brackets. They're going to go down to our second chance bracket. We'll have to battle it out there against those teams to bring themselves back to the top. They may face off against Team 1. If they do, I wish you luck. Both these teams definitely have demonstrated some level of prowess and control in this game, but nonetheless, Sidgems Minions have won out because Sidgem is not being punished enough.
Yep, that's basically how it works out. It's just kind of the main storyline of tonight. Well, overall, I think now would probably be a good time to take a bit of a break. We know who's going to be in the top bracket. We'll be back with the lower bracket to see who can possibly unseat Sidgems Minions. We're going to have to see how tonight turns out. We'll take a break and be back after this.
Do you think we can do it like James Bond style?
Yeah, only one way to find out.
Dun, 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 dun. I made it! I made it! I made it!
Yes! Did I get it? Yes!
Well done.
We killed it!
It feels great to be able to give back to the community of active duty and veterans.
And of course I went on the USO's channel.
A strong America is a force for good in the world, and the strength of our military is paramount to that mission. Wherever they go, the USO is there to keep our service members connected to everything that gives meaning to their service: family, home, and country. The USO is trusted to support our service members on all 7 continents. With more than 200 locations, Home for Our Troops is as close as the nearest USO center or program. The USO provides critical programming, connecting with service members and their families millions of times each year. From the moment they swear an oath, new recruits are welcomed by the USO's family of staff and volunteers.
I'm here to witness my son swearing in. It's nice to have basically a liaison to help people so they aren't as nervous of what their children are going to go through.
Separation and constant movement are an ever-present challenge for service members and their loved ones. The USO keeps military families strong, providing connection home and events for families and couples.
From the little Christmas events for the kids, or like we had a date night, the USO has given us time, not only together, time with our children, and things to do.
When troops are deployed, the USO provides a home away from home to help bridge the distance. On the front lines, a care package, a phone call home, comfort food, a familiar song, or a moment to relax can mean everything. When their military service to the nation is complete, the USO connects transitioning veterans with resources in their new communities and helps them plan for their next chapter.
We spend most of our time serving the country that when it's time to get out, we're usually behind the curve a little. The USO has come in and kind of get us a leg up on that transition so we can make the best move into a second career.
We are the USO, the force behind the forces. Go to USO.org to learn more.
Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. You're joining our coverage of the USO Indo-Pacific 3v3 tournament. I'm your host, Jacob Jen Palmer, joined by Artie Nerdy Rain. We've currently seen the top bracket be completely dominated by Sijums Midgems, so now we head into the lower bracket to see who will ultimately get to challenge them for the prizes. Before we get into this next match, though, let's just do a quick recap of just how this event works, where we have been, and what these teams are playing for. We said this is U.S. military active duty from Guam, Japan, South Korea, Hawaii, and Okinawa playing right now. In the morning, it's evening for us. It is almost 10 p.m., so it's almost midday for them.
Yeah, I hope you guys had a great cup of coffee this morning, had a great breakfast. I, however, am relying only on liquid water to keep me awake, because if I have coffee right now, there's going to be no sleep for me tonight.
Well, they're all playing for cash prizes right now. This is what they're playing for. A $1,200 prize pool. Whoever wins is going to get $600. Whoever gets in second place gets $400. Whoever's in third place gets $200. So first place team takes away $600 or 82,000 yen or 1.3 thousand won, depending on where you are stationed right now. So that's just the local equivalent for wherever these teams may be.
Still a lot of money, still a lot of food.
It's still a decent amount for just playing Rocket League.
Exactly.
All right, now we go to our next event in the lower bracket, and I think what we've been looking forward to all night. I mean, we just need to throw up the matchup graphic to show everything right here. I mean, you just need to strike fear into the hearts of your opponents with that gaze.
Most definitely.
And this is the first time we're also going to see Team JJJ.
They're taking on Team 1, though, and this is a team that we've been seeing some slight praises for because they went up against Team Sijum's Minions, and we saw the dominating performance that Sijum's Minions showed us in our last match. And so to be able to go toe-to-toe with that team definitely means you are here for a reason. Let's see if JJJ can come swinging against Team 1 with as much strength.
The team that we're going to be seeing from JJJ is going to be made up of X-Ray, Captain Churro, which is a great name, and Tormented Ways. So that's quite a mood swing. You know what I mean, from Captain Churro.
I seem to recognize the name X-Ray for a reason. I'm possibly one of the LAN events I've casted before that you were at prior to being on deployment, if you were attending school prior to going full-time into the military. But for some reason, that name is familiar to me. We'll have to see if the playstyle is also familiar. If it is, that means this player is a little bit higher ranked than I would anticipate.
Well, hey, that might be the one to go up against Sijum. We just don't know.
That's true.
But one thing about Team JJJ is they did go up against Sijum's Minions before and lost 2-0. So, but right now they just have to focus, you know. I mean, that's a tough team to get, you know, in your early matchup. But overall, how do you unseat the champions? You follow Doc's keys to the game, and that's to create mistakes, punish double commits, use your boost wisely, and most importantly, what we've most been rooting for, bump and demo opponents to disrupt them. Doc's Keys the Game brought to us by USO. Since 1941, the USO has been the nation's leading organization to serve the men and women in the U.S. military and their families throughout their time in uniform. From the moment they join, through their assignments and deployments, and as they transition back to the communities, USO is always by their side. Let's get into this game here. JJJ versus Team 1. Who is going to move on in this tournament and who gets eliminated?
Looks like Tormented Ways is going to have the opportunity to push the ball to the midfield, but it's immediately thwarted by Systemic. You have Chai going up against X-Ray for ball possession. Rubix will come back in, sending the ball into the corner. Ball has not left JJJ territory just yet. Systemic trying to stop it from doing so. X-Ray at the mid has their opportunity for a breakaway, thwarted by Chai.
Neither team scoring quite yet. And I don't know if I like what I saw there from Team JJJ. It seemed like a lot of their players were bunched up. It seems they have remedied that, no, but we have seen, you know, that double commits, bunching up around the ball. That's been the death knell for so many teams in this tournament thus far. So make sure your rotations are right like that. Set it up for each other. Unfortunately, Rubik is not going to find the goal at the very last moment, but great try.
Chai sends the ball into the corner, has to battle it around one. It was Tormented Ways. Tormented gets it away from Chai, but loses possession and control of their car at the mid. Systemic tries to get in there. Tormented Ways manages to regain control, get possession of the ball in the corner. It is going to be thwarted, though, by Rubix, who brings it to the midfield. Pressure is going to be mounting on them fast, so they need to look for a give and go, and it's going to be given to X-Ray instead.
Chai is going to try to center it up around the corner. X-Ray denies him. Is going to leave it for Captain Churro. Tormented Ways hanging back on the goal. That's a beautiful save and clear from far, far away, I might say. They are looking to clear the ball and get it a goal for themselves to get the lead.
Chai pushing forward, sends the ball at the goal. 2, if not 3, elevate for that save. We'll have to see here. I think 1 was intending to go on the disruption play to Chai. Yeah, we'll say that Captain was trying to do so. 2 then elevated at both. Just couldn't get there fast enough. And that is goal number 1 for Team 1.
Moving onward, X-Ray barely getting the better of that kickoff. But right now, the other 2 teammates actually looking like they took a little bit too much time there to get the boost on the sides. That means they fumble a little bit trying to answer that, and Rubix punishes them for that, shooting it right over them and making it a 2-0. Overall, Team JJJ fumbling a little bit, but I mean, they had a good start. I mean, they were matching Team 1 at the first few minutes, so maybe they can recover here. Might just be a rough minute or so, but if they can get their heads together. Tormented Ways is going to sneak it by one of them, try to go past Rubik again, bump systemic out of the way! That's how you do it. That's what we talk about, bumping to disrupt.
I would like to point out, though, that all 3 members of Team JJJ were here within the back third, which is risky territory. It's what we call overcommitting on a goal-scoring opportunity. You need, and that midfield control is what I'm talking about. If someone's trying to pressure you, you can back off to the mid if you're not involved in the play and be ready to stop a breakaway from happening that easily turns into a goal for the other team. But I digress. Right now, Team JJJ only has to get 1 more goal to equalize this out, and they have 2.5 minutes to do so.
X-Ray is heading back and is able to deflect it. Is going to leave it for Tormented. And I do think the communication probably between this team is what needs to be fixed the most for JJJ. Saw a moment where kind of 2 teammates went for the boost at the same time and kind of ran into each other. So it's mostly working with each other and trying to make sure that you're not all committed in the same place. The systemic right here, I mean, this is why you spread out. You leave it for another teammate, they follow it up. You make plays like that.
Let's see, 1 goal a minute. It's doable for Team JJJ. X-Ray wins the kickoff. They somehow juke Chai out and manage to maintain possession, bring it here into the corner. Finally, ball's going to be pinched off into the side by Rubik, and a follow-up from Chai will be at the midfield, but they whiff it. Elevation and demolition onto Captain Churro will result in Rubik's and Systemic maintaining possession, ball still in their territory, finally crossing that midfield stripe, but immediately circumvented by Captain Churro, sending it into Team 1 territory yet again.
Tormented Way sees his play there. That's a nice deflect, but there are 2 members where he was passing to. They can't keep making mistakes like that. I mean, I see the plays they're trying to make, but you just can't double commit like that.
You need to make it like a sticker or something that just briefly pops up and says stop the double commit or something like that, because it's really the most detrimental thing for most of these players in these teams in these tournaments. There's another one. Thankfully, there wasn't any pressure being put on them in that moment. Ball's crossing midfield stripe. Rubik's elevates, sending the ball to their teammate who is cherry picking. And the give and the go didn't fully work out as there's a lot of pressure being put onto Chai.
I mean, really, you need to spread out. Live up to your team mascot and tell your teammates to get out of your swamp, okay? Make distance between each other.
Oh my gosh.
See? That's what will happen. Well, Nerdy's out of commission for the next few seconds or so. You have to say that is a great play. That's a give and go that brings it within just 1 goal here.
Yes, nicely done, Team JJJ. Now just do it again. Captain Churro is definitely being the playmaker here. Let's just hope that the little bit too advantageous Tormented Ways doesn't get in your way, as they have been right against you most of these plays that they've been making. Got to make that space, as Jem mentioned, and let each other have your opportunities to do so. All 3 bunching up. Does not take 3 of you to defend a goal. One-on-ones are fine, 3-on-1s are not okay.
Trying to make the play here. Again, it's just that they really need to work on this double commit issue, because I think I've seen talent from them, definitely. It's just they're letting that one mistake get in the way of everything. I mean, there's a lot of talent on the outside, but as you peel back the layers of the onion, there's this double commit problem that's just really rearing its ugly head.
I was wondering how you're going to manage to work the onion reference in here. You did it. I'm shocked you managed to do so. And hats off to you for doing that.
Yeah. Hey, I do what I can. So, is there anything beyond the double commit that you think could be improved? Because I think that mainly means because I'm seeing like in the technical skill, they're doing all right at air dribbling. They're doing all right at trying to set each other up for plays. It's just that one thing of communicating with each other.
Honestly, I have to agree with you. That's the really only big issue that I see right now. And you mentioned it as well. They're very gifted players on the technical level. We're noticing that. We're seeing it. But the issue is that, what I'm thinking is the issue at least, is that these guys have not played together a whole lot. These were more or less teams that got put together within the last week or so, meaning they've not, scrimmed together, played together just in free play or in ladder whatsoever, meaning they don't have a lot of trust and faith in one another. And so they're doing what I consider the solo player mentality when you're trying to just climb in ladder, and that is do everything yourself. And when everyone's doing everything themselves, it means you're double and triple committing on the ball because no one's communicating. Don't be a ball hog. You don't need to be involved in every play. Someone needs to be rotating the back post. Someone needs to be having midfield control. You do not need to be in all three places every time the ball is in that area.
We bring Doc's keys to the game into it often, but right now the start of the academic season is happening. Doc Haskell being the head coach of Boise State Esports, and one of the things he's saying to the students right now is, hey, you can have a team of a lot of very highly skilled players, but if you do not have that team synergy and teamwork, then you're going to underperform as a team. And I think we might be seeing that with Team JJJ. They've got a lot of great individual talent, but they need to work on playing cohesively more together. And I think that might be the thing. That's a lot better positioning there. I like what I see there by Captain Churro, who can now rotate in and almost get a score on goal there.
And we had a fantastic midfield control there from Tormented Ways, sending the ball back towards the net, getting a shot on goal. Systemic did save it. Back rotation to the back post from Tormented and Captain Churro. Tormented will be the one to bring it over across to the side to make a fantastic clear opportunity, but they're running out of boost. They need a teammate. They're going to get bumped around, but it looks like Captain came forward at the wrong angle and actually helped out Team 1 a little bit there. His ball is now entering JJJ's back third.
Systemic with a shot on goal there. Not quite going to find what they were looking for, but it's still tied 0-0. Systemic to elevate up. Tormented now, making the play off of the wall. Now who's back on the field to keep Captain Churro, and I like that. X-Ray is still hanging back here. Tormented's also in the goal to try to save it. I mean, it does look like we're seeing a little bit of tightening up from JJJ here to improve.
I think if they find the clear here, they'll have the opportunity to take a breath and reset those rotations. But Captain Churro with a fabulous breakaway play straight up the middle finds a goal for Team JJJ. Is that sushi on their car? It is sushi on their car. I'm here for it.
All right, as we move forward, we have 3 minutes left in this match. Still an opportunity for JJJ to move it to a game 3. I also wonder, as I'm looking back at the record here, just how Team JJJ has performed, they haven't had a game that has gone to game 3 yet. Yeah, all of the games they've been in so far have been shutouts, 2-0, either for them or against them. So this would be the first time if they win here that they go to the game 3.
Might be time to grab an extra cup of coffee and take an extra bite of that granola bar to make sure you have the energy to continue to move forward. We have Rubik send the ball to the midfield where Systemic was waiting. Tormented Ways goes for the challenge. It will be thwarted by Chai, who pops up in front of the net. Churro will elevate, pushing it forward to the midfield stripe. Sent right back towards the net by Systemic, and there was a cherry picker there yet again. Chai to just make a little bit more disruption.
Systemic with the play here. Just kind of needles it through. Now Team JJJ really needs to make the play here and make sure that they do not make these fundamental mistakes. Please do not double commit or else I will be very angry. JJJ, you force me to do something I really don't want to do. Oh. My diet's ruined. Oh. I hope you're happy.
What have you guys done? All right, well, while Gem battles some internal demons, we have Captain Churro pushing forward, sending the ball to the corner in Team 1 territory. X-Ray push forward to try and help out as well. Neither one gets a goal-scoring opportunity. Captain has an awkward pinch off the ground. Ball is going to elevate in front of the goal for Team 1. Chai tries to make it to Tormented Waves, though, comes in to finish it up. Minute 41 seconds on the clock, and Team JJJ is in the lead by 1, but they need to stop double committing or that 1-goal lead is going to go away real fast.
It's not just what's best for your team, but for your kingdom, okay? Just work on clearing up those double commits and you're good.
And we go into the kickoff. X-Ray's going to win it and just beam the ball into the corner. Chai's going to try to corral it away. X-Ray takes away from Chai. Systemic, though, comes in from the goal back post position to send the ball into the back third in JJJ territory. Tormented Ways and X-Ray both need to have a little bit of a conversation there, but X-Ray does manage to get a great clear, immediately sent right back into JJJ territory. Ball is at the midfield. We have a challenge from X-Ray and one from Team 1. Neither one wins it out. Ball gets sent to an open net for Team 1. Systemic comes in at the last possible second to make a save. I really thought that was going in. Systemic, you proved me wrong. Ball has not left Team 1 territory just yet. Captain Tro goes for the challenge. X-Ray rotating back, as is Tormented Ways. And Tormented will push forward possession, but pushing it too far and sending it over to Rubik's.
JJJ has a narrow lead here and might just draw it to a game 3. Chai's going to drive it around the corner. Not be able to center it up thanks to X-Ray, but an unexpected shot on goal from Tormented Ways, and they double commit on the save. That could open things up here for Team 1 to get the equalizer. We'll see if they can do it. Systemic Haynes back just a little bit to set it up. Looked like he was setting up for Rubik's there, but was not able to get to the ball before JJJ did.
Ball is still in JJJ territory, though. We are ticking down to the last 15 seconds here in game number 2. And it looks like we're going to see our first game 3 here live on broadcast for this tournament, unless a goal is scored in the last 8 seconds to send us into overtime. JJJ, you might just do it, or you might put another one in for yourselves. Ball cannot touch the ground, but it doesn't matter. Team JJJ finds goal number 3 with no seconds left on the clock. And we're going into game 3 tied, 1 aside in this best of 3 series.
Woo. This is really turning into a barn burner here. See Team JJJ, that's interesting. They didn't have the total shots on goal and didn't have the side control at all, yet they still found a way to do it.
There was quite a bit of time that it seemed like Team JJJ, we talked about it very early on, they were struggling. Like they had in the first minute or so, great rotations, great pressure and field presence. They weren't all bunched up into one quadrant. However, there was a moment in time, and then they somehow managed to score a goal like shortly thereafter, where they were all bunched up. And I said, maybe once they find this clear, they'll, reset those rotations again. They did not. It took them a little bit of time, and then they found their rhythm finally near the end. And yeah, so that's why the side control was heavily in Team 1's favor on that game.
Yeah, maybe we just need a recap of Doc's Keys to the game also, what we're talking about here about just getting down the fundamentals, creating mistakes, punishing double commits, and make sure you don't make them yourself. Use your boost wisely and bump opponents to disrupt. I mean, it's stuff that we repeat over and over and over ad nauseum, but it makes differences.
Yes, and Jem and I will reiterate, it may not be listed here, but that boost management, well, sorry, that one's there, but the communication is very much so key here. I understand that typically Rocket League, and they just introduced an in-voice game mechanic to everyone that's not aware. There was no in-game voice chat in Rocket League until very recently in one of the most recent updates. Communications are very important at the competitive level for Rocket League to ensure that you are avoiding double commits. Use your comms. They're there for a reason. But you guys are sitting right next to each other, so you should be able to hear one another screaming, I got the ball, through your headsets.
Systemic just trying to waterfall it down. That was almost a great play, and a follow-up by Chai, but a clutch save by Tormented keeps it tied 0-0. What an exciting play to start things off here.
And we did just see Tormented cross midfield stripe with the ball, and Captain Churro was right behind them. Captain Churro backed off. I want to see more of that. Don't try to just shoehorn your way into the play when there's no need for it, because it creates opportunities for your team that you're better off with. But Chai, easy goal, no one home.
I mean, look, I will probably see it on the replay because it's just such a key cause and effect here. Is the double commit makes them rotate too far up the field. There's no one to go back to back post, and Chai has an easy goal.
Yeah, if your teammate's right there, ask yourself, why am I here too? They have ball possession, where should I be? And the answer more than likely is you need to be at back post.
Chai, nice shot there, trying to dunk it down into the goal. Isn't going to find it, but they've been really close in how they've been placing the soccer ball so far. Chai moving down again. There's the open goal. Where is JJJ?
We had one go for the challenge, one at the mid, and one that is not even on our feed, so they were probably hanging back towards the net doing cherry picking. So something needs to
happen.
That one I will chalk up to just being a bit unlucky. It was a fabulous breakaway play by Chai, and the rotations just weren't fast enough. It could be a reaction thing. It could have been a full rotation breakdown. Not quite positive, but we didn't see all the players in the same spot. Perhaps, though, if the challenge communication that the challenge was whiffed, the rotations would have been a little bit fast. We have Captain Trio pushing forward now, but Rubik's will immediately volley the ball into the back third of JJJ territory. We hear a demo come out onto Tormented Ways, possibly making it easier for Team 1 to find a goal here.
Tormented Ways with a shot back toward midfield is going to be stopped by Rubik. It's forward Chai with another shot. Triple commit! Why? Why?
Please, oh.
No! My heart is so broken right now.
Okay, so the triple commit wasn't punished, but the double commit was, okay? This is why we say don't do it. You don't need all three of you there to be for the challenge. You don't need two of you. Just trust the goalkeeper. Trust the person who rotates the back post to do it. Because once both of you have it elevated, it means you're completely out of the play. There was nothing that could be done to save that ball. And it went right in with no problems for Team 1.
So the winner of this match, we've been kind of covering where all the other teams are in the lower bracket. The other teams that are fighting right now in the lower bracket were Gorilla Grippers and Wet Napkins, who we haven't seen any of, by the way. And whoever wins this is going to go on to play Wet Napkins. Now, here's the interesting thing. Wet Napkins already went up against Team JJJ and lost against them. So if Team JJJ could somehow pull it together here and win, they'd be going up against a team they've already won against. But they're not going to do that if they keep making these fundamental mistakes. But they might do it there. They bring it to within 2 goals.
There's plenty of time left on that timer to find those two that they need. Honestly, don't be looking to, you know, put yourself in the lead. Look to equalize it out and play for overtime with how many difficulties we have witnessed thus far in this game. Yeah, roughly minute 15 seconds per goal. It's doable.
Systemic. Just a shot over toward the side there, Tormented Ways. Unable to find his clear, so now it's getting up to X-Ray. He isn't too successful in that way either. Captain Churro takes a try. Also, look at this. They have no boost whatsoever. JJJ.
What is happening, JJJ?
And they're not going to be able to make any plays whatsoever.
I saw the Mega Boost was available for everyone there, and no one on the side of JJJ is decided to grab it. It's right there, Tormented. Okay, Tormented grabbed it. Good job.
Just want to have less opportunities like that. Again, when your team's spread out, you can afford yourself more opportunity to make sure you're full up on boost and resource manage. But if you're all bunched up in the goal, none of you are going to be collecting boost.
Chai steals the ball away from Tormented. Captain Churro tries to volley it across midfield, stopped by Chai. Off the top back wall, X-Ray maintaining possession, basket around Systemic, leaves the Mega Boost for Systemic, so they are now out of resource, making it difficult to bring the ball out of their territory. Chai capitalizes on the lack of speed for Team JJJ and finds another goal for Team 1.
A nice dunk into there to make it 4-1, I believe, so they get back their 3-goal lead that they had for the majority of this match. X-Ray to follow after the kickoff, and Rubik gets to it first, also picks up the side boost. Tormented heads up there, deflects it off to the side. No one to contest Rubik. Captain Churro stops there again. They find themselves bunched up together. Systemic with a little trying to kind of fake them out there. Just 1 minute left. Systemic is going to try to keep the play alive. Who's rotating in? There it is. It's Rubik who finds it. That was beautifully communicated and played. Team 1 looking hot, like they're going to move on.
I'm going to call it now. You talking about the fact that Team 1 should not be counted out just yet, just because they lost early to Minions. Very true. I mean, they are demonstrating that they are here to win some money bags and that they deserve their second chance. This is why we have a redemption bracket. This is why you don't play single elimination.
Because sometimes you can be a very talented team in yourself, but you just get the bad draw off the matchups and you go up against the top team.
Yeah. And it's always a rough situation. This is why you don't normally see single elimination brackets. And it's definitely paying off right now in spades for Team 1. It's giving them their redemption, but they have to play perfectly, and so far, they are. Except for that double commit. X-Ray almost capitalized on it, but the rotations, tight corners there, worked out. Team 1 managed to make the save.
Well, just 10 seconds left in this fight, and it looks like it's going to be the end of the road for Team JJJ. We just need to count out the final seconds. And that looks like it is going to be it. What Fairy Godmother said was right. Ogres do not live happily ever after. But hey, at least it's night here. It's morning over them for there, so maybe some waffles sound nice to kind of cheer up the mood for JJJ.
Yeah. Maybe some crepes. I like crepes.
Yeah, those are nice. But overall, as we move on, we do want to thank, again, the USO for organizing this tournament. And since 1941, the USO has been the nation's leading organization to serve the men and women in the U.S. military and their families throughout their time in uniform. From the moment they join, through their assignments and deployments, and as they transition back to their communities, the USO is always by their side. So now looking at the lower bracket, as we said, that means Team 1 is now going to go up against the Wet Napkins, who we haven't seen any of this night. So we're going to see this team again fresh, and then whoever wins this goes up against Island Mercs to decide who goes to the grand finals.
Be very interesting if Wet Napkins can manage to get a foothold here. They did lose out against Team JJJ 0-2, if I'm not correct. So Wet Napkins might be struggling a little bit. This is their third game, I believe. Did they play against Cobras or no? They did not play against Cobras.
We can actually see the upper bracket here again, just to kind of see a history. We might be able to see where Wet Napkins was. Yeah, Wet Napkins went up again. If you look right over my shoulder, you can see Team Wet Napkins went up against JJJ, and JJJ won against them. But Team 1 beat JJJ. So if we're to judge, all things being equal, I might give Team 1 the advantage here.
I'm definitely giving Team 1 the advantage in this case. So I have to agree with you. That is the desk prediction. Production, if you guys have a prediction, go ahead and let us know if it's the opposite of what we're thinking. But the odds are not in your favor right now, Team JJJ.
We're going to take a look at a few replays here to see how we got to this point, see if we can, prove even more some of the advice that we have been giving and insisting quite earnestly to a few of these teams here to take into account. We just see some great play by Rubik, who has been a great playmaker for Team 1.
Systemic coming in, playing the ball off the backboard here. Follow up from Rubik. Absolutely perfect. Threading the needle between two defenders.
And again, here we see right here. This is kind of what sunk JJJ. They managed to get away with it there and score a goal. But overall, it was the ability of Team 1 to just kind of play better together as a team, ultimately pull off the victory against JJJ. Tormented Ways, making a last-ditch effort here, but it was the only thing that they did. They did manage to get one win, and it went to a Game 3. So they showed a little bit of life there, but ultimately I think it was their poor team play that kind of doomed them.
And really in game number 2, what put them in the lead was just some very fantastic breakaways. And I believe Team 1 recognized that the rotations were coming off too slow and allowed for those breakaways to happen, and they rectified that going into game number 3, not allowing it to happen again.
Yep, and once you're able to recognize the issues that are plaguing your team and make the adjustments, you're rewarded with wins. So now we're just getting ready for Wet Napkins to go up against Team 1 here.
I'm sorry, but that's...
It's just one of the things, no matter how many times you say it, you're not going to get used to it.
No, and as someone who's worked in the fast food industry, and when you have to clean up tables and there's children that come into your facility a bit, wet napkins are disgusting.
Yeah, you're getting flashbacks right now that you did not need tonight at all.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's 10:24 p.m. right now, and the nightmares are already starting to come out for you in the form of wet napkins.
Mm-hmm. So thanks for the digging up memories that I had buried deep in my subconscious, Team Wet Napkins.
Well, the ones who are going to be fighting on Team Wet Napkins is Agro Gaming, Fiery Green, and Cheese.
Okay.
Those are their names. We haven't seen any of them tonight, but We'll see how they do against Team 1, who has kind of been, you know, I don't want to call them underdogs because they've proven that they're very talented, but they got knocked down to the lower bracket, I think, a little bit sooner than they deserved.
It was just a really unlucky matchup early on. It's just what happens. I mean, it's the luck of the draw with the first matchup sometimes. And in this case, they ended up going against Sigum's Minions, and Sigum's Minions sent them down to the redemption bracket real gosh darn fast. And they are showing that they deserve this chance of redemption. Let's see if Wet Napkins can stack up against them, or if the sogginess of the napkin is easy to break through.
Yeah. You know, at this point, with you bringing that word, I'm almost glad they're actually called wet napkins instead of soggy napkins, because that brings even worse. You know, it just sounds worse.
Well, there's a professional Rocket League team with an even worse name, okay?
Okay. That's true.
And they lost, and I was sad about it because I was really happy to see a ragtag team make it as far as they did. And if you know the team name, I'm just not going to say it out loud to not make anyone uncomfortable. Absolutely incredible, like, Cinderella story there from that team that ended up being funded. Their whole organization was basically funded and picked up by a YouTuber. The YouTuber has a massive heart, but their name is interesting.
Their name is, and we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
You know, you can always read the slight terror that's behind Nerdy's
Well, because
eyes
as soon as someone figures out what I am talking about, and they're just going to drop it in chat. I know someone probably already has, and then it's just going to be like, everyone's like, oh, so that's why they're avoiding saying the name out loud. Yeah.
I always like, there is no one who can set up awkward pauses better than you can in a way that's very humorous, and I always appreciate it, Nerdy.
I'm glad I can bring that to the table with you. I mean, you've got the pun game down. I'll bring in the awkward pauses.
Okay, and we're unstoppable force then.
Exactly.
Got all bases covered. Well, who's going to be the more unstoppable force here? Wet Napkins or Team 1? Aggro Gaming kind of living up to his name, starting off Aggro with a shot on goal, not even 10 seconds in.
Ball has been sent into the back third of Napkins territory, though. Systemic elevates, pops the ball up. Fiery Green will elevate as well and snags the ball easily. Has the opportunity to pass over to Cheese. Cheese, though, can't beat Chai to the ball, and Aggro Gaming elevates to try to make the save, but Chai's shot goes into the high right corner, which is an absolutely perfect placement for that ball. That's goal number 1.
Great play by Chai. A great start for Team 1. See if they can build on that, or if Wet Napkins will ultimately equalize this. We haven't seen too many equalizers this tournament. Seems when one team gets in the lead, they usually stay there. Maybe Wet Napkins is going to be the exception to that. I'm already getting flashbacks to JJJ here with how close they all are.
Not enjoying that. Seeing all of them within the same frame is never a good thing to be seeing. Systemic sailing forward into the corner. He's going to be able to snag that boost as well.
Right.
2-on-1. Fiery Green manages to make a breakaway, but now, okay, Fiery Green's rotating back, leaving Aggro Gaming with possession. That's great. Go for the midfield control. Fiery Green prevents the clear. They now get into the play as their teammate rotates back, so we're seeing a little bit better, but they have left the net open. Okay, Aggro Gaming, time to back off, be a little less aggressive, make sure that net's not left there. Chai is going to grab the ball, send it across midfield stripe, challenged by Cheese. Ball's going to pop up at the mid.
Cheese is now going to try to center, but gets outplayed by Chai. Drives it back to midfield. Chai just sneaks it by them.
What?
Gets it to 2-0.
Okay, Chai goes forward. Cheese tries to go for the bump off the back of Chai's car, can't do it. Chai has the ball ricochet off the bottom of their car to fake out the defender and find the ball in the back of the net. Beautifully done.
Systemic elevates up to set up the play for Rubik, who sees it, and again, back-to-back goals makes it 3-0.
Wow. Yeah, again, you really called it. Team 1 just had an unlucky matchup. They are playing some pretty gosh darn clean Rocket League right now.
Looking back at the winner's bracket right now. Yeah, Team 1, okay, Team 1 started out the upper bracket by having a bye and then immediately going up against Sigum's Minions. So, I mean...
they didn't have a warm-up.
They didn't have a warm-up, and maybe if they're warmed up right now, if they're more into it, They might do it, but remember, Sigum's Minions is just sitting back during all of this.
Yeah, they get to relax and actually recoup some energy, whereas these teams have to go through the redemption bracket. It is back-to-back gaming. There is no stops, no opportunities to really take a quick breather. So hopefully, whomever makes it out of this series, out of this bracket as a whole and goes into the grand finals, they really take the break that we will give them to recenter themselves, grab some water and stretch their legs, and come in fresh as they can.
The breakaway over to Chai. Is going to take their own boost and actually kind of fumble right there, but Systemic is waiting. Bail them out. Around the corner, Systemic goes again. Credited with the shot on goal there, but it runs into 2 team members of Wet Napkins. And again, a demo out there onto Aggro, almost clears the goal out, but Chise still remained there and was able to find the clear.
Systemic is going to rotate back, allowing their teammate Rubix to push forward with possession. There's a changeover and aggressive. It looks like Aggro had possession, but it was immediately stolen. Systemic sends the ball to Rubix, challenged by Fiery Greed. It's going to make the ball pop up, but it still has not left Wet Napkin territory. And from underneath Chai's car, Chai gets a hat trick for themselves here in game number 1 of this best-of-3 series. Their team is firmly in the lead right now against the Wet Napkins. Can't be too firm when you're wet.
No. Yeah, at this point, it's just much like a Wet Napkin. They're just tearing quite easily, you know. They're just breaking through.
I mean, they have roughly, doing quick math here, not working out in my head, 50 seconds per goal. No, that's not right. 40 seconds per goal, I believe. Maybe, no. 35, something like that.
When you started saying this, it was 40 seconds per goal.
Okay. 90 seconds, they got to get 4 goals. It's not impossible. We've seen 4 goals in 40 seconds, but they really, really need to clean up their spacing. Chise's going to go forward, played off the back wall. The reset and shot from the backboard. The angle just popped the ball up high, so that comes down to that mid-aerial control there and angling of the car. Difficult micromanagement of your car in mid-flight, not easy.
Nice play from Chai. Drive it back to mid. It's left for Rubik. Whiffs on that one, but Chai is still there. Over to Systemic. And even though that play didn't materialize, that was still great play between all 3 of them. You can tell they're comfortable with working together. They're communicating well, and Wet Napkins, I think that's ultimately the difference between them and Team 1. Aggro Gaming gets a shot on goal. Fiery Green, another one, and a demo onto Systemic. But it's not going to be enough. The clear is still found by Team 4. And it looks like Team 1, who has 4 goals. And it looks like they're going to be heading on to the second in this best-of-3 on match point.
Now all that's left is for the ball to hit the ground. The game is over. Even if Team 1 fumbles a bit here and lets Team Wet Napkins score a goal, it doesn't matter. They're up by 4 nonetheless, or they'll go up by 3 balls, going to finally be grounded, and Team 1 walks away with the game 1 victory.
We can see it did not feel that close by any means. I don't know what the computer's saying here, but I think it's lying to us. I do not trust these numbers.
I do, and what I think is I'm going to say about that is the opportunities that Wet Napkins had, they messed up. There was misplays, there was double commits, missteps. I mean, there was great shots on goal that literally came down to the angle of the vehicle, and as I've said before, I mean, you are in the air in most of these shots these people are going for. They're not just going for the off-the-ground, chipping it up to the high corner shots. And when you're in the air, it's hard to angle your car perfectly. And most of the time when we saw someone go for a shot in mid-flight, ball went straight to the ceiling. It's just what happens.
Well, here's one other thing that you need to keep in mind about this particular match is whoever wins here joins 2 other teams. That means this is technically the battle for 3rd place and who gets at least some money walking away. So if there's kind of a really consequential match, you know, we talk about the difference between, you know, 1st and 2nd place, but this is the difference between getting some money and no money.
No pressure.
One team wins cash, the other leaves with nothing after making it this far in the tournament. So who is ultimately going to win? Wet Napkins needs to pull off the reverse sweep here in order to win, but it looks like Team 1 might be on their way to guaranteeing themselves at least a cool 200.
Yeah. I mean, wet napkins is not impossible, but y'all really got to clean up some things. I don't know if you have someone listening to us. I don't know if you have the stream pulled up. But if you do, hopefully you take what we're saying with at least a little bit of a grain of salt and incorporate it into your gameplay. Beyond that, I wish you luck.
And they're going to need all the luck they can get as they go up against Team 1 in Game 2 of this best of 3. And Fiery Green getting the better of that kickoff, but it's immediately answered by Rubik. Shots a little wide. Gets centered again. Cheesy finds his clear. Answered back by Systemic, and a beautiful redirect there by Chai as well. You can tell that one was called out.
And Systemic did try to do the shot on goal, but the angle of the car was just not quite right. And then Rubik's took another shot, saved by Fiery Green. Aggro Gaming sends the ball across the midfield stripe. Systemic's going to corral it here in the corner. Challenged by, I believe that was Cheese, but Cheese's shot's going to be saved by Chai.
Shot off the wall from Rubik. He plays off of it. Gets it all the way over to the far corner. Fiery Green with the bicycle kick, but Chai almost gets it in the goal. It's going to be credited with a shot on goal. And Rubik is just hanging back there, waiting. A little bit of a run in there, but pretty uncharacteristic of how Team 1 has been performing overall. Rubik misses there. Chai's waiting. They're still kind of slow playing this.
I'm seeing a little bit of over-rotation now coming out from Team 1, and I think that's why they haven't quite scored a goal yet, because they're recognizing that there's some mistakes happening and they're trying to fix it on the fly. And so as opposed to trying to go for a goal that would leave them in risky territory, they're trying to reset these rotations, and we have seen that finally happen. Rubik pushes forward from that mid-control position. We have Chai rotate to get boost and Systemic in that back post position, but now all three are bunched up again. Chai goes for the breakaway play, manages to find it, so double elevation from two Team 1 members. They do get a shot on goal, but Aggro Gaming's going to make a great save. Ball at the mid.
Chai pops it up, leaving it for Systemic. Systemic doesn't really have the boost to contest with Fiery Green. Chai recovers and is able to get a little bit of space back, though it's not a full clear, but with the pass to Systemic and the redirect, that almost turns into a goal. But Fiery Green with the save keeps it tied 0-0. Fiery Green to challenge Systemic. Systemic with the better hit there and a redirect over the backboard, deflected by Cheese. I'm still seeing a lot of great plays by Team 1. They do lead in shots on goal 4-2.
And we have crossed into the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds here of Game 2. This could be the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds here for Wet Napkins if they do not manage to put themselves in the lead. So far, no one's found an opportunity to get a goal, but feels as though side control is definitely in favor of Team 1.
Chai with the shot on goal and finds it. Wet Napkins not quite quick enough to defend against that one. I also wonder as I see the replay, yeah, look at that Systemic with that bump earlier on to clear out the goal. That was some great team play by them, leaving it open for an easy shot for Chai.
2 minutes on the clock. Wet Napkins looking for the equalizer now. Fiery Green after kickoff is just forced out of the way, so they can't even follow up their opportunity created. Chai comes in, sends the ball into the back corner. In Wet Napkin territory, Chai goes for the challenge to prevent the clear, but it is going to be found by Fiery Green, who gets it even away from Rubik for just a moment. Aggro Gaming comes in to make sure possession does not fully switch over, but Systemic tries to bring the ball to the mid.
Off the backboard, Chai leaving it for Systemic. Almost finds it. Aggro with the save. Now looking for the clear, denied by Rubik. Fighting in the front post, sets it up again for Systemic. They're not going to find it. But it's just adding more and more to the shots on goal, which is now up to 7 for Team 1. Wet Napkins still stuck at 2. Now with that 8th shot on goal, they get another one. 2-0.
Chai has definitely been a force to reckon with here for Team 1. In the last game, they had I believe they had the most accolades. They're on my list of players to watch over here that I've been building out, as well as I've been keeping track of a lot of other stats that may not be necessary later on. But Shize goes for the shot on goal. It's going to be too wide of the net to be accredited. Ball's at the mid with some awkward rotations coming out now for Wet Napkins. Try to push forward, gets it around one, but can't get it around the other. Their teammate Systemic getting demoed by Fiery Green.
1 minute left in this match, and Team 1 has a fairly comfortable 2-0 lead. It's still about 25 seconds per goal for Wet Napkins. The time is rapidly running out for them. And the ball very firmly in the possession of Team 1. Although that demo onto Chai might open things up for Wet Napkins here. Agro has it stolen away from him by Rubik, but it's quickly answered back. So Team 1 is going to be on the defense again. And this is getting interesting now.
This was a fantastic play. There was no one in place to prevent this goal from going in. We're in 1-goal territory. This is buzzer beater opportunity for Wet Napkins to send us into overtime. I mean, 2 goals in 26 seconds, difficult. 1 goal, definitely doable. Systemic's gonna go for the challenge. It's gonna be the one to have the better elevation and win out possession in mid-flight though. So ball is in Wet Napkin territory. They need to get this to push over into that orange half of the field now, or their opportunities to send it. No!
Oh!
No!
That does it. That is it.
That is so unfortunate. This is just something that happens in Rocket League. You're either, I mean, it's the lesser of two evils. Either you try to go make the save and it ends up going in just based off an awkward ricochet, or you don't even go for it and the ball goes in nonetheless. So hats off to you for even trying to be there, but it's just the way the cookie crumbles in Rocket League. Sometimes you are the reason the goal is scored on your team.
And there you go. Team 1 advancing further on and just dominating in the shots on goal. So they move on to the lower bracket finals. They're going to go up against Island Mercs. And it's down to 3 teams. And congrats for Team 1 of guaranteeing you're going to get some money tonight. So good job to them.
What's interesting, though, to point out is that this next matchup, both these teams, I believe, if I'm not crazy, were knocked out of... Let me see here. Wasn't Island Mercs knocked out by Sigum?
Yes, they were.
Yeah, they were.
Both these teams have gone up against Sigums.
Yeah, so both these teams were sent down to our redemption bracket by the same crew. So, regardless of who wins this one, you better wish them luck going back up against Sigums if they make it that far.
Well, we'll take a short break and see who's going to join Sigums in the final. We're getting to the conclusion of our Indo-Pacific 3v3 tournament. You're not going to want to go away. We'll be back after this.
Do you think we can do it like James Bond style?
Yeah, only one way to find out.
Dun 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 dun. I made it! I made it! I made it!
Yes! Did I get it? Yes!
Well done.
We killed it!
It feels great to be able to give back to the community of active duty and veterans.
And of
Welcome back to the Boise State Esports Arena. You're watching the USO Indo-Pacific 3v3 Championship. It has been a long night, but we're drawing toward the gradual close of it all, with now us down to the lower bracket finals to find who will go up against Sigm's Minions in the grand finals. I'm your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Artie Nerdy Rain. So overall, it's been quite a night. We've seen great plays, we've seen less than great plays, but now we get to some teams that I think have some really true talent here, and it's both of them have great talent in themselves, except that they went up against the powerhouse of Sigm's Minions.
Yeah, you guys both got unlucky. I feel like one of you got unlucky earlier on. Another one of you guys just had to face them after they'd fully warmed up. I
actually think if we bring up the bracket again, we can see, you know, the upper bracket that we had been filling in and how things turned out earlier tonight. We can see that both of the teams we're about to see here got the unlucky draw of going up against Sigm's Minions, so they have been having to duke it out in the lower bracket to try to fight.
And not to mention, whomever ends up winning this match and goes up against Sigm's Minions doesn't, if they win the game against Sigm's Minions in that best of 3, they don't just have to do it once.
They have to do it twice for the bracket reset. So a long road ahead for them. But here we go. In the lower bracket finals, it's Island Mercs versus Team 1. We're just about ready to head into the match and see how everything turns up. But again, let's take a look at how we got here and how the night has shaped out. We can either take a look at the bracket or take another look at just kind of the rules in general of how this night has overall worked out. And it's U.S. military active duty from Guam, Japan, South Korea, Hawaii, and Okinawa have been fighting it out tonight in the double elimination bracket, with all matches being a best of 3. They've all been playing for cash money. The prizes at stake have been a $1,200 prize pool, with first place taking home $600, second place taking home $400, and third place taking home $200, split between the teammates. So we at least know we're now in the money stage.
Yes, and this is where things get important. No pressure.
Now it's just deciding who gets how much money. And it's all down to how they play these individual matches.
All I got to say is don't get greedy. I know it's for money, but don't get greedy.
Don't get greedy. I love how you sum that up. Even though it's just for money, don't get greedy.
I mean, these teams, at least we can basically say that they're not the ones we've been screaming at about their double commits as much. I mean, we do yell at them a little bit. We've not yelled as much about double commits from these teams as we did earlier in the broadcast. So when there's a lot at stake here, and money is always, you know, a big thing to be playing for, not just bragging rights. The want to get overly aggressive and be the playmaker 100% of the time tends to make people greedy. Don't let that happen to you.
Don't overextend, because that is something we have seen unseat many teams tonight so far. Shy with the demo onto McMeerkat. Trying to look for a hole in their defense. Already plays it around 1. The ball's at such a shallow angle that it's really hard for them to make a shot on goal right now.
Tries to set something up, but it's just too slow, so J5 gets it clear, sending it to McMeerkat. But McMeerkat immediately loses possession to Systemic. Ball is sent back to J5 in the corner on their own territory. Played around 1, can't get it past Chai, who pushes it back against the Island Mercs back wall, but no goal is scored. J5 makes a fantastic clear, but they're gonna have to battle it out around all 3 defenders now, and they have very little help from their teammates. So far, they've just been playing keep away. Ball is back into Island Mercs territory.
Rubik slow playing this a little bit, but it doesn't work out for him. It gave enough time for McMeerkat to get a little shot of his own, but still fighting in midfield for it. Rubik again shoots it toward goal, bumps 1 out of the way, leaving it open for Systemic. The shot is deflected yet again by Island Mercs. Off into the corner. The contest there, won by Island Mercs. McMeerkat is going to leave it for formerly Panda and Demo Rubik shard out of the way. I love the thought behind that, and that was so well executed. It just, they didn't get the shot on goal in the end.
And we have J5 pushing up. They're pushing up with no boost, making possession hard to maintain in that situation. McMeerkat, though, is going to go forward, pass it to J5. J5 does the give and go back to McMeerkat. McMeerkat, though, is going to get demoed by Systemic.
Normally Panda. It's a slight tap on that, enough for McMeerkat to try to make a play here. Ball hits way back over to the corner, though.
We are almost hitting the halfway mark here in game number 1, and no goals have been scored, and very few shots have been taken. Only 2 from Team 1, and none that have been accredited to Island Mercs just yet. However, they have pushed the ball into Team 1 territory immediately, volleyed right back into their back third. Formerly Panda goes for the challenge against Chai to make it clear. Chai stops it for a few moments, but J5 finally finds it, sending it into the corner, but it's going to be taken away again by Systemic. Rubix goes for the elevation, can't find it. Chai has to do it themselves. Systemic does the follow-up. Now the ball is in the corner in Mercs territory.
Rubik Shark sees the open goal and scores on it, meaning Team 1 now get the lead. It's been a little bit into the match, but they are in the lead again, 1-0. That's kind of been their style, is winning with 1 goal, 2 goals, but it's been slow and steady for them, and it's been working out.
McMeerkat's going to take the ball off the back wall, but lose control. Chai off the ground finds it for themselves, and that is another goal for Team 1.
So now it goes to 2-0, a position from which they have won most times that they've gotten to it. McMeerkat with the play over to J5, but it's in their own goal, and Rubik's already creating an uncomfortable position for them. Chai just runs right into J5 and demos him. Systemic up the wall around J5, looking to waterfall this down. Look at the control he has. Beautifully played.
Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
They aren't able to rotate back in time. McMeerkat just left chasing after.
We won't talk about it, McMeerkat. You didn't at all get a touch on that ball. Not at all.
His next kickoff, McMeerkat and Systemic both at a 50-50, but neither is going to win it outright. Gets played over Rubik. Formerly Panda trying to open something up, but Systemic closes the door on that one. Rubik Shark shot on goal and a demo onto McMeerkat. Did he use the soccer ball to get the demo there?
I wish I had a button up here that just allowed me to clip some moments myself so I could look at it real fast, because I need to know what went down there.
I don't think, can the soccer ball do
I
this?
don't think so.
I would think that would be highly problematic for the nature of the game if it could.
I really just think the timing was absolutely perfect so that the demo did happen, but it looked like the ball did it. Either way, I'm sorry that you got demoed, my friend. I didn't think you were going to get demoed.
Shot over to the side from Systemic, sets it up beautifully again. The give and go. And just for show at this time, 4-0.
At this point, 4-goal deficit. I think we have less than a minute now left on this clock. It's going to be really difficult to make that up. That's literally a goal every 10 seconds if you're here rooting on the Island Mercs. But nonetheless, Island Mercs have made it very far in this tournament, but this will be their GG good day to us. I was going to say good night. That's only for us here in Boise, to everyone else who is watching from around the world, because these guys are much further away than we are. It's your good morning. Not the best start to your day, but you can at least say you made it pretty gosh darn far.
I actually think it's good afternoon by this time.
Oh,
actually,
yes.
Let me take a quick look here. I'm just fact-checking myself in real time.
Chai is going to manage to get possession here.
Yeah, in Tokyo and Seoul, it's 1:54 right now.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's afternoon for them. So they've been playing basically all day right now.
That's
from
a great
the morning
day
into
to
the
spend
afternoon.
your day, though.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And even greater for Team 1 to end it 5-0.
Hey, Chai, do you like chai? Question. I mean, I personally don't like the taste of it, but some people do.
Well, you would think so if they name themselves after that. I don't know. I don't know who, when making their gamer tag, says, here's a... Oh. Okay. That's just a stat to take the breath out of you.
Okay. You know, I'm going to chalk that one up to exhaustion because of how long these guys have been playing.
Which is something that Sigma's Minions isn't going to have to worry about right now.
Yeah.
Because they get the advantage of just sitting back and watching all of this.
Yeah. And if they win, they only have to win one game. Whereas whomever plays against them, it's going to be really gosh darn tired. I'm very sorry to that team. Either way, we still have more Rocket League to
Although
watch.
I don't know if you notice really Team 1 looking tired. I mean, they're looking more determined than ever.
I don't want to know how much caffeine they might have pumping through their system right now. Because, I mean, like, I understand anyone that does not play competitive video games. You think playing video games for, like, extended periods of time for multiple hours stuck on it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. If you're a parent who has a high schooler or a middle schooler that currently plays a lot of video games, you're just like, oh, they're wasting their time. Oh, they never seem tired.
My kid does that
you?
every day.
Yeah, exactly.
How's it wearing them out?
Exactly. But when it's in the competitive, when you're in that competitive mindset, it is so exhausting. Like, every game, you feel like you just walk away, your hands are shaking, you can't catch your breath, you're exhausted. It takes a lot of mental power, and if your brain's tired, you're basically physically tired, and you just want to go to bed.
All right, we're just about ready to head into the second match. The second match, it looks like. Just waiting for both these teams to start, or it might be a lobby reset. We have had that before. Remember, the rules do state that if it is not 30 seconds into the match and someone disconnects, then it is a reset. So just something that kind of happens in the nature of live events.
The other caveat is if a goal has not been scored.
Yeah, that is true.
So unfortunately, if a goal is scored and then you out of the lobby, your team gets to play it out and just wait for you to get back in. So hopefully you reconnect quickly.
Yeah, hopefully you can. My internet was out for a week, though, so sometimes reconnecting quickly isn't in the cards. I know.
All of my classes are online. I go to campus for work purposes twice a week, but if I could not access my classes, I would cry.
Yeah, that would be really tough.
I mean, yes, you could say, Nerdy, you just need to drive to campus. You don't understand how far I live from campus, okay? I don't have the money to pay for that gas.
Which, now that you mention it, you know, we're talking about where they're playing from. Guam, Hawaii, Japan, Okinawa, South Korea, all of them much smaller than just the state of Idaho where we're broadcasting from.
Yes.
In fact, you could probably fit all of them into the state of Idaho and probably have some room left.
And in Japan, you have the bullet train, so you don't have to drive. But, I mean, like, it's not like the train tickets and passes are that cheap, but still. With that being said, best of luck to both these teams. Island Mercs, this is it. This is for all of the marbles. You gotta make some magic happen here now, my friends. Otherwise, this is your, I was gonna say again, good night, but it's gonna be not the most amazing start to your day. But Team 1 is gonna walk away with a victory and move on because this is their match point.
A5 with the tap back. Stopped by Systemic. Systemic doesn't have any boost right now, so he's gonna have to go up and get some. Shy's gonna pick up the slack. McMeerkat looking to drive it up with J5 up on the field. J5 does not receive the pass zone set. He rotates back with formerly Panda. Overall, this push here, both teams seem to be slow playing this. A little bit uncharacteristic for Team 1 considering they've normally scored by now.
Maybe they're realizing that if they win this match, I mean, they do want to win this one, and Chai has scored the first goal just a little bit past the minute mark. No matter, they want to win this game 2, so they don't have to play out of game 3, because that's just more fuel out of their tanks going into grand finals. But they realize that there's not just one more game. There is 4 more games at the minimum after this one if they want to win this thing out through the end. And so they have to start metering their aggression, getting a little bit slower of a tempo to maintain their energy levels.
McMeerkat unable to really set it up for anybody. Formerly Panda's going to try to center now. A little bit of a bump by Systemic and just enough to deny it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, okay.
Almost looked like they might have left an open goal there, Island Mercs, and a miss there by Rubik. Looked like it would have definitely been a goal too, so that's unfortunate. And a double commit there from Island Mercs. It's a little weird to say it, but it's been a little while since we've seen one of those.
It happens. Everyone's getting a little gassed here. Systemic, though, is going to push the ball across the midfield stripe. And there's not going to be a whole lot of pressure put on them immediately. J5's going to elevate someone else. Looks like McMeerkat also elevated. Not what we want to be seeing right now. They only need to get 1 goal, though, and they have 2 minutes and 45 seconds to do so if they're just looking to play into the overtime situation, not trying to put themselves in the lead. I really think that's what the Island Mercs need to be looking for right now. Ball is in Team 1 territory, and McMeerkat is going to find that equalizer for the Island Mercs.
Now things are all even again. That's really Chai, just a split second off in the timing there. Leaves it for Island Mercs.
J5 wins the kickoff, but Systemic comes in, gets a beautiful angle on that redirect, and the ball sails past 2 defenders who were in mid-flight. That's just gorgeous.
So they didn't really get to have a tied game for that long before Team 1 just got back into the lead.
But Team 1 really wants to find another goal for themselves and then maintain that 2-goal lead, so there is no opportunity for a buzzer beater to send us into overtime. It always really sucks when you think you've secured the victory, but then right at the last second, someone's kept the ball alive and it goes into the net. Ooh, J5, I see you.
Nice demo onto Systemic. Question is it really going to turn into anything? There's plenty of time for Team 1 to recover. McMeerkat, aggressive shot toward the goal. Chai saves it. J5 follow up. Systemic just barely with that reflect. 2 very good shots on goal back-to-back from Island Mercs.
McMeerkat trailing the ball here, tries to get it away from Chai. Chai has their teammate come in, trying to help them out too. Systemic collides with one at the mid. Ball is going to go to McMeerkat, though. Systemic has an unfortunate whiff. Ball is still in Island Merc territory, though, and we have roughly 90 seconds left here in what could be our last game here, sending one team off to the grand finals.
Firmly Panda picks up the corner boost, but isn't really able to do anything with it. J5 also not going to be centering, thanks to Systemic's play there. Leaving it for Chai, who has a shot on goal, but it's saved by McMeerkat. Systemic bounces it off the wall, leaves it for J5. Huge shot back toward Team 1's goal, and Chai, barely dangerous situation there, just manages to save it.
Team 1 desperately trying to get this ball out of their territory. 53 seconds left on the clock. They do not want this ball over here because that is what Island Mercs needs. They just need that pressure, as many shot opportunities as they can get. Finally, ball crossing into Mercs territory. The Meerkat's going to elevate with possession. No, they will not. Chai's going to thwart that opportunity before it can come to them. Send the ball into the corner. Ball still on the blue half of the field.
30 seconds left. And right now, that could be a very crucial play there for Chai. Getting the side control at this point in the game is huge. As the timer ticks down, now just 15 seconds left. They're going to need to stop this clear. Can they do it? They missed there, and now they're going to have to defend here, and they get played over, and it's tied with just 8 seconds left.
That McMeerkat, that was absolutely incredible. Bit of an over-rotation on the side of the Island Mercs, but I mean, you got to make the Hail Mary play at some point when it's 8 seconds left.
Question is there going to be a buzzer beater at this time? Still in the realm of possibility. Doesn't quite look like it, though, and now we go into overtime.
Our last overtime was shut down extremely fast, with a goal almost being scored directly off kickoff. Chai has the ball ricochet off the ceiling, so Systemic's going to have to come in. Systemic's shot, well, Chai's shot's going to be too wide. The follow-up shot also too wide. Rubik's forced to rotate back. This is not where you want to be playing aggressively. You need to be playing safe and looking for mistakes to be made by the other team rather than opening up mistakes yourselves. We just saw Team 1 actually collide with 2 players on the offensive push.
Team 1 has been playing for so long, though, that you know that they would just love to win this and just go back for the rematch against Minions.
Systemic sails the ball over one, dunks it down for a teammate. That teammate's going to be Chai. Can there be another touch from Rubik's to close it out? There is, and Team 1 will win out against the Island Mercs in a 2-0 victory. Game 2 going into overtime, 3-2. Nicely done. Island Merc, send off your friends here from Team 1 with the best of wishes. Tell them to take down Sigum's minions because they sent you down to the redemption bracket, and only one of you could make it out alive.
Overall, a great match between these two teams. Team 1 now finding themselves in the grand finals. Another thank you to USO for putting on this tournament. Since 1941, the USO has been the nation's leading organization to serve the men and women in the U.S. military and their families throughout their time in uniform. From the moment they joined through their assignments and deployments and as they transition back to their communities, the USO is always by their side. Now we get to the grand finals. Nerdy, you have an encyclopedia of knowledge in front of you right now, of notes you've taken throughout the whole game.
Well, okay, so I'm going to not shine the light here on Sigum's minions. Y'all had a pretty smooth sailing process, but Team 1 started out on a bye. You mentioned that. And then got knocked out 0-2 against Sigum's minions. Also unfortunate, sent to redemption, and then they dropped one game to JJJ and have not dropped one since. But that does mean they have been playing continuously basically since we first saw them. They have not stopped. They are tired. And if they are to win this and get the whole enchilada, they got to do it again. And they're looking to do it in no reverse sweep territory. They want to do 2 games and then 2 more games. But the question is, can they? Do they have the mental stamina? Do they have the mental prowess and the level heads to do so? Because when all the marbles are put out, that pot is looking awfully shiny. It's difficult to not start messing up.
But they are the only team tonight thus far who has taken a game away from Sigum's minions. They're the only team that's proven they can win against them. So here's a question I want to pose to you. If we look at the replays right now that we can see, we'll see that no doubt that the way, we're actually going to see Sigum's minions to give kind of a recast of the terror that they're going up against right now and the player that is Sigum's. But one thing you'll notice is that the difference between these two teams, I think, is like Sigum's minions is a team just built around feeding Sigum and just giving him the ball to play. Whereas Team 1 as a team, their goals are usually spread out between the teammates. So you have a contrasting here, a team with a very talented player who makes almost all the plays, and a team that is more spread out in their talent and works together. Now, you in your esports career, Nerdy, I'm sure you've gone up against some teams that have had just like one insane player that try to feed them. What's like the strategy since you've been there? How do you kind of dislodge that team structure, if you will, a team that's built around one player making all the plays?
Well, if anyone has been here for a long time, you know that my realm of practice is Overwatch, and typically you scout that team and you figure out what that one playmaker player plays. And it's been done to us as well in my early years here on the squad. But when that playmaking player has a very limited pool of heroes, all of which are very counterable by maybe 1 or 2 different heroes, you make it impossible for that human being to have any fun on their main heroes and force them to do something else. In this case, in the realm of Rocket League, I will suggest you do not allow Sigums to have free reign over boosts. You take those away because those are quintessential to his aerial play that most teams have struggled to shut down. On top of that, you do the other thing that I like to do, which is boon them on the mental. And to do that in Rocket League, you demo them and send them to the respawn screen.
And you know what else does that? A bracket reset.
Oh, yes.
Again, just a quick recap over everything that has here. U.S. military active duty from Guam, Japan, South Korea, Hawaii, and Okinawa in a double elimination bracket with all matches being a best of 3. So this could be a full bracket reset that we see here. And they're playing for the prizing for that first place prize of $600 split between the 2 teammates. But whoever loses here is still going to get $400. Not bad for just a day of playing Rocket League, if you ask me.
Most definitely. And it only took half your day away.
But I really do think you hit the nail completely on the head with that boost and deny them to do their specialty right now.
Most
and
definitely.
That is the aerial play. So has Team 1 caught on to that? Will they able to do it, or will Sigum's minions, with the help of Sigum's, just run away? It's all led up to this. Let's see what happens. Rubik's with the pass over to Systemic is not going to find that right now. Now the ball gets over into Sigum's hands, which is very dangerous territory indeed. But Rubik's answers that back. They're able to take it away from him. Sigum's rotates away to get boost. But is he going to get back quick enough? Trying to flick it in. And overall, Team 1 is off to a pretty impressive start against the undisputed top team.
The clear finally happened, and the boost at the mid was left for Sigums to grab. Ball is in Team 1 territory. Cocoa Puffs elevates. They unfortunately will lose possession. Airstrikes comes in to try and send the ball towards the net. It will be sent to the side by Chai, who dunks it over Sigums. Sigums grabs another boost, not something we want to see, but Chai grabs the midfield boost,
Boom!
Beams the ball into the net, and that is goal number 1 for Team 1.
Ooh, a good start for them. And they have been the only ones, like I said earlier, to beat Sigum's minions. So now with Sigum's minions on the back foot, we'll see where things go from here.
4 minutes and 20 seconds is a long time to maintain a lead. Sigums will actually win the kickoff, but it's going to be popped up by Systemics, followed up by Rubik's, and then Systemics again. Rotations are a little rusty for Team 1 right now. It looks like they cleaned that up.
But that double commit, that's worse.
Come on, oh, but Coco manages to push Systemic out of the way to prevent that goal from happening, and now Airstrike's going forward. It's going to take out Systemic as they go forward with possession. Ball gets popped up from Coco to Sigums. Sigums just has to play it around Chai, but Chai tips the ball to the midfield.
Now Chai has control of the ball yet again, playing it around Airstrikes. Cocoa Puffs left to defend. Now it's in Sigum's hands. Can someone take it away from him, or is he going to dribble it up the field? He is such a terror with that, and effortlessly gets it in there. A complete solo play by him. This is why he's the top player in the tournament. That is terrifying.
That was, yeah. Okay, I see you, Sigums. Now we're tied at one side. 3 minutes, 38 seconds left on the clock here in Game 1. And if you have just now joined us to see this game, if Sigum's Minions walks away with a victory here, they put themselves at match point and tournament point. However, if Team 1 wins and they win this first best-of-3 series, they have to do it all over again.
Sigums with the shot there, and is now going to continue to move the ball up the field. Can Chai defend here? Elevates up, but doesn't quite get. Lucky for them, Sigums is rotating back. Actually a little bit angry with Cocoa Puffs there. You can see there, because Cocoa Puff took the boost Sigums was looking for. And when Sigums doesn't have boost to play, now he is effectively grounded. He picks up the boost again, though. So can Systemic make the play here?
Sigums going forward. They're losing out on that boost, but a triple commit from Team 1 is not what we want to see either. Airstrike comes in. That mega boost already taken away by Team 1. That's at least good. They're starving resources. The ball does finally cross that stripe. That's going to be another goal for Sigum's Minions.
Just all the plays, almost all of the plays have just been completely solo play by Sigums.
Shut them down.
See what they can do here. Sigums wins the kickoff, but Rubix is waiting back there. Systemic with another punt over to the side. Rubix unable to win that 50-50, and dangerous here. They're having to rotate back a bit too late for my taste. But they are unable to find the goal there, so it's still just going to be a 1-goal lead. Team 1 can still equalize this, but the question is, will they do it? As Chai pushes it down, it goes down to Cocoa Puffs. Not gonna find, actually, yeah, does get the clear they were looking for. Has to go up against Sigums, who wins that 50-50, but isn't able to keep playing off of that. This is your opportunity here. Now Sigums is rotating back. Trying to do a bit of disruption to stop his aerial play. Rubix takes it away from him. Airstrikes credited with the shot on goal there. Sigums again has plenty of boost. The opportunity gets it taken away from him. And he's out of boost right now, so you want to take that halfway boost there, but not able to get it.
And we have Rubix take the shot, but they're disrupted by Cocoa Puffs. There was a triple commit in that goal area, though, so there could have been easy follow-up for Team 1. They just couldn't find the footing to do so. Sigums at the midfield looking for an opportunity to play disruption. Whiffs it. Airstrike now chips in. Can't get a touch on that ball. Chai now looking to chip the ball in, can't do it. Triple commit yet again from the Team Sigums Minions. Not going unpunished by Team 1.
Nice shot from Chai. Puts it into the near corner, but off goes Sigums. Can Systemic win against him? Yes, he can. Still within the realm of possibility. 1 minute to make up 1 goal. Shot from Sigums. He's no doubt going to play off of it and score again and get the hat trick.
think Team 1's got to make some magic happen here if they want to walk away with a Game 1 victory, I think. I mean, 2 goals, 50 seconds, not impossible, but they basically need a kickoff goal.
Oh.
It's like they heard me.
My heart skipped a beat there, especially after you called it out. And now Sigham's back in control of the ball.
No! No! Clip this human being's wings!
Rubik Systemic, you gotta do better than that right now. You can't double commit.
Try carrying the ball forward. Has their teammate there. I believe that was Systemic trying to go for the play, but they unfortunately
this is another goal. Really, what can you say at this point? Sigham's is undoubtedly the best player in this tournament. The whole team is built around him. Even the team name acknowledges that fact. The team name is Sigham's Minions, as the other team are just the minions to enable Sigham.
So I made a rough estimate during one of our breaks here that I believe that Sigham's is either is in the range of Diamond, possibly Champ here for Rocket League, which is pretty decent as far as Rocket League players go. And so I have no malice against Sigham's whatsoever, nor the Sigham squad, but I'm always one here for the underdogs, and so therefore I'm rooting for Team 1, but they're struggling here. Oh, okay, he's Grand Champ. All right. I was
okay,
even
that
at the lowballing
that's answering a few of our questions right there. I think we've solved the mystery.
Yeah, so Sigham's is Grand Champ, and they told their... Say that again? Oh, sorry. Production thinks that Sigham's is Grand Champ.
That's quite a qualifier to leave out until the last moment, I'm going to say.
As I said, my rough estimate's probably Champ or...
At least Champ or Grand Champion, I would say.
But no way SSL. I'm just not giving that to you, okay? So I have no malice against Sigham's minions, nor Sigham, nor that team as a whole. It's just I'm always one to root for the underdogs. It's just the type of person that I am.
As casters, we like close games.
I'm rooting for Team 1 here, and they got to bring this one back in their favor, because right now Sigham's is at tournament point, and I don't want that.
And he always has boost is the thing. He's never boost starved, which we've talked about. So what? So we actually, they're taking a little bit look at his record. Production's been doing some investigative work for us. ROCS regional champion. So, I mean, what can you do? Shut down the champion.
Send someone away to just steal boost and make Sigham's day a little bit worse. But Cocoa Puffs is a great win off the kickoff. Rubik's comes in, steals it away. Sigham's elevating. He's going to try and drag this one down, keep it away from Systemic. They do exactly that with the follow-up from Airstrikes. Rubik's, though, getting the save off Airstrike's shot on goal.
Comes with a shot there. A little bit of a flip back. Look at this, though. Well-placed shot. A double commit on the save. And it's punished by Jai. They're back in the lead.
All right. This is borderline identical to how Game 1 went, though. That's the problem.
That is true.
Team 1 got the first goal within the first minute, and then it just all went awry from there. See if they can put more goals up and keep away from Sigham's minions.
He gets the first tap on the soccer ball, so no surprise there. Cocoa Puffs, pretty well-placed shot for his part, too. Airstrike's now looking for the follow-up. Nice play by Chai to keep it away from him. Ooh, I don't quite like the way they were bunched up around that goal there. A little risky for Team 1. Plenty of time for the ball to be taken away here. You can see Systemic definitely was trying to go for the interference there, just didn't read it quite correctly. But I like the idea.
Airstrikes goes for the shot, it's pinched off and saves Systemics.
Almost there. Had an opportunity. Sigham's rotating back. Now Sigham's doesn't have any boost here. He picks it up though. Now we're gonna head up the wall. There's one person rotating back. It's Rubik Shark. Gets the tap that he needs to. Shy to rotate back and puts it back into the corner. A very tenuous lead for Team 1. And just one person, Sigham's right now with the ball. Oh, they break it away from him though. Take away the corner boost as well.
Coco, though, flicks the ball to the mid. Double commit by Team 1. Makes it a little easier for Airstrikes to get in and help out Coco Puffs. Airstrikes, though, tries to do some funky movement and ends up losing possession, but
doesn't have boost. He falls out of the air.
Oh!
And a double commit, though.
Stop, you're hurting us, Team 1.
They're making these crucial mistakes at the one moment they don't want to. But they're still the lead in the breakaway to 2-0. We might go to a game 3 here after all. It's tenuous, but it's possible. Question is, can Team 1, we've been seeing some cracks in their armor though. Some crucial double commits when they don't want them. The ball passed back over to Sigums, who has full boost. He's gonna play it down. Chai, great effort there, but Sigums doing what he does. Yeah, nice try. Nice try, but it's just wasn't going to be able to play it under him. So now that 2-goal lead, they're still in the lead, but now just by 1. And we're still not even halfway through this game.
Rubix and Chai try to double commit onto Sigums to take him out of the play. Might have worked for a little bit. Sigums has no boost, actually.
Take it away. He still has no boost.
Yes! Starve this human being of the boost. Take the resources away.
He doesn't have, look how far he's going out. So, okay, he does manage to pick up the boost again. Unfortunately for Team 1, they weren't able to make a play in that time. He didn't have any. But now he uses it all again, picks up his own corner boost. Coco Puffs, pretty well placed shot back over to Airstrikes. A bit rare to see some team passing back and forth from Sigums minions, but it can happen.
Chai dunks it past Sigums. Airstrike can't stop Chai either. Chai leaves it for Systemic. Systemic goes forward. Sigums is there though, and Sigums has full boost. This is not good territory. Chai does not want to let Sigums get away with this. Chai is losing out on resource though. Possession changes over. Airstrike's now going across midfield, stripe with possession. And Sigums has
Look
it.
out! Oh my goodness! I think the problem there with that play was Sigums wasn't the one following up. He was setting it up, which he should be the one to follow through. Chai off the wall. I mean, it's down to a minute and they're still barely in the lead through some miracle. They're still in the lead, but it could be equalized right now. And we've been talking about a deflation to a team's mood. If it was tied up right now, Team 1, they would be stacked against them. And look out for Sigums here. He's going to try to waterfall it down. Just barely. Nerves of steel going up against the Giant.
Ball still
Coco Puffs. Oh, no, that's dangerous. This is so dangerous right now for Sigums minions. They're just by the skin of their teeth. And a double commit there from Team 1 on top of that. That could be a crucial clear, though, at the breakaway Systemic! We might be going to a game 3 after all. Team 1, the only team to win against Sigums minions, might have at least gotten a win here and driven it to game 3.
About 11.5 seconds per goal for Sigums minions to equalize this out. I say that's borderline impossible for the one.
For mere mortals, but for Sigums.
Maybe for Sigums, but I'm sorry, Sigums. You now got 5 seconds per. Ball's in your side of the field. I think this is a game 3 situation. Because, yeah, you can't score 2 goals in 3 seconds. It's just not possible. We are going to a game 3.
We are. It's definitely here.
Come
yeah,
on.
I would just say ground the ball here and don't even try your luck. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Cool.
So they got the win here. They have a possibility. Oh my goodness, look at how even that is.
That's what I like to see. And you know what? Had they not been boost starving Sigums, that boost used would have been heavily favoring blue.
That's true. That's a really, really good point. So it's kind of a job well done if the boost is even at this point.
Yes, otherwise Sigums is eating it all up and leaving none for anyone else.
Whew. The thing is here that even if Team 1 wins, it's only going to force a bracket reset.
Yeah.
But it might be enough, you know, to kind of knock Sigum's minions off their track.
Throw the mentals, get them a little tilted, make them play worse. It's a valid strategy.
We've seen it too. You know, I think one of the last USO tournaments I broadcast was a bracket reset. I mean, it wasn't just a bracket reset. It was, I think it was a best of 5.
Gotcha.
No, I think it was even best of 7, actually.
Oh.
And the team that was heavily favored to win won 3 games and then was reverse swept. Bracket reset. They won 3 games again, reverse swept again.
Ooh.
So it's like anything can happen in this scenario. When you bring the bracket reset into play, we've seen Titans fall.
This might just be it. Can David take down Goliath?
Literally Goliath with that helmet. It's thematically appropriate.
We'll have to see. Sigums is going to go for the kickoff, gets the better touch, but Systemic will be the one to win out for possession for a few moments. Airstrikes rotating into that cherry-picking position, tries to get this go back to midfield as Sigums is pushing forward. Cocoa Puff sends it to Sigums. Sigums, though, can't get a touch on it.
And as they're all pretty healthy on boost right now, still trying to make the play. Right off that almost fights it, but it just, goes off to the side. And now Team 1 is able to pick up a lot of boost there, though, all of a sudden. Sigums, no, not at that angle. He's not going to find it. So plenty of time now for a clear. It does, in fact, go through. Watch out for Sigums here, though. Yeah, Chai realizes he needs to stop that play right now. But Sigums still going to keep it going. They play it past him now, and Cocoa Puff swims. Now airstrikes, and just a save by Rubik.
Now a minute has elapsed. No goals have been scored. There's been 1 shot aside accredited. 1 from Chai, 1 from airstrikes, none from Sigums. Sigums looking to change that here right now. Can't though. Ball crossing midfield stripe into the back third of Sigma Minions territory.
Systemic. Sigums answering that back. Chai with a slight redirect there. Systemic challenging airstrikes. And goes Sigums, though. Doesn't quite get the play. Has to spend so much boost on trying to keep that going. He can't continue the play. Now a lot of fighting in midfield. Airstrikes gets control of it with the pass over to Sigums, but beautifully read by Systemic to just dunk it back down toward the ground. Sigums has it again, though.
No.
Can Chai rotate in? Yes! It has been so sweaty, these saves. So clutch. And a demo onto Sigums. He's finally been demoed. It had to happen sooner or later.
Unfortunately, ball is in Team 1 territory. A double commit on the save from Cocoa Puff's shot, and Coco actually got demoed. Actually, no, that was Sigum's shot, but Coco was demoed, forcing them to reset. Airstrikes, pops ball up mid. Chai whips it off the ground. It looks like Systemic's going to be able to pop it up into the corner. Sigums, though, will be the first one to grab it.
Ooh, and is able to play it around 1, but not 2. Systemic. Even alive, it's halfway through and neither team has scored. Team 1, the only team that has been a challenge to Sigum's Minions thus far, finds himself tied 0-0, fighting furiously just for a bracket reset right now.
Oh, Sigums with possession again, gets booped out of it. Coco comes in to help out their teammate. Sigums, though, has already gone back to the mid because it's the only place they're really easily getting boosted. They managed to snag it here in the corner. Not something you want to see. Team 1 letting Sigums get away with. That's another shot on goal, but it's saved nonetheless.
A theme from Sigums that I saw that I really liked is you saw he was at 80 boost, but he still drove over the 100 boost just to deny it from the other team. I mean, it's more important at that point. He specifically goes for the boost again there in their territory. You're taking away their options for playing.
Oh,
he goes in again off of the backboard.
Oh, Coco might have it. Airstrikes, though, has to play from the side, going for the opportunity to reset it into the midfield, but loses it. Sigums comes in, has a great shot. Systemic, though, gets the save.
He's going to get demoed, though, which might put a dent in Team 1's push here. Great play by Rubik, keeping it going. I gotta say, Chai is kind of a very good foil to Sigums. Like, if you look at the activity feed, they've both been kind of the main playmakers for their team.
I have Chai down here as one of my players to watch at. Oh no, though. We've got less than a minute. No scores on the clock. This is risky territory. No definite person in the lead here. Basically,
I would like to see that.
it's going to be whomever finds this next goal is probably going to walk away with this victory. Is it going to be a bracket reset, or Sigm's Minions going to walk away with the victory? We've got 30 seconds to find out, and my anxiety is very high.
Team 1 has been defending all this time. Has to go up against Sigums. It just gets pinched off to the side. Now against Airstrike and Rubik. Airstrikes wins that one. Back over to Systemic. Shy back over, but there goes Sigums. He's full on boost, but a perfect shot by Systemic. It goes for the goal. The save, we might go into overtime there. That could be the key play.
Sigums,
Can you
are
rotate
you kidding
back?
me? Are you kidding? Nope, that's it. That's it. Ball's going to hit the ground.
Oh!
All right, I called it pseudo earlier. It's whomever gets the next goal wins. Well, now it really is whomever gets the next goal wins, as this is overtime, 0-0 on the clock. If Sigm's Minions gets this goal, they walk away with with everything. That is it. They get their $600 and they have a nice day. But if Team 1 scores this, they win out this first best of 3, and we go back and do it all again.
Well, let's be real. Sigums gets 500, the other two get 50, if you were just dividing it up on performance.
Oh, that would be so mean.
But I mean, the team is named after if they're trying to defend again. Oh, Team 1, you've been letting too many nail biters go through. Oh my, Sigums has the boost, has the opportunity to play here. Just barely, and it's actually going to be Airstrikes instead of Sigums who gets the goal in the end. The champions win in overtime, and that is going to be the end to our tournament. Oh boy, what a game.
Yep. Yep.
Team 1 was just scrambling the whole time.
And let the record show, those total shots on goal extremely skewed, because there was so few shots on goal that entire game. At least that game 2.
Well, it's a 2-0, but no, it's a 2-1 actually. Team 1, don't deny them that credit.
Yeah, they
got a
one.
win there, and that's big. I mean, they played their hearts out, and they're still going to walk away with $400.
Mm-hmm.
So they still get the cash player of the prize. But Sigum's Minions, and you can't deny who the top player is, they get the $600 and win the Indo-Pacific Championship. Okay, now is the time that we once again thank the USO for being the nation's leading organization to serve the men and women in the U.S. military and their families throughout their time in uniform, from the moment they join through their assignments and deployments, and as they transition back to their communities. The USO is always by their side. Now is the time that we pick a player of the game, and you know who doesn't count.
I'm going for Chai.
I would have to say Chai too, although you could also give it to Systemic or oh man, I can't believe
Drippy, Risk, you know I had to do it. They all played well. Chai.
Systemic, and I can't believe I was just seeing Rubik's, of course, Rubik's. They also had great plays divided among them. Player of the game is going. Yeah, I mean,
I know who's in charge of replay right now, and so I'm not shocked. This person actually gave me flack when I was going to the bathroom, because they're like, what do you got against Sigums? And I was like, it's nothing. It's just, I gotta root for the underdog.
You gotta. And production went with the easy option.
Fair enough.
So we know who is just content for a par performance tonight. I'll just say that. Right now, Sigums is the player of the game. And, of course, that player of the game is brought to you by the USO. Again, the nation's leading organization serving the men and women in the U.S. military. So congratulations to Sigums for doing that. And tonight, that is going to wrap up. But before we wrap up, Nerdy, do you have any final thoughts? I know we've given very strong opinions tonight, so it's almost, I don't know if I can ask you for a follow-up for tonight, but anything you want to take away overall?
if you are looking to walk away with one of these cash prizes in one of these tournaments, please, for the love of all that is good on this world and this planet, learn how to communicate and stop the double commits. It just got so ugly. Jem, you ruined their diet. He ended up eating a granola bar here on desk. Like, that's just, you did us dirty when we're like borderline crying about the double commits. It just comes down to talking about it. Open up the comms. They're there for a reason, okay?
I don't think I can add anything to that. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for the show tonight. But before we conclude, we will give you our USO top 5 players of the game. And we thank all of our players in the Indo-Pacific region. Be sure to follow the USO on Twitter at the USO. Join the USO discourse at discord.de/the USO. That'll do it for Nice for the Indo-Pacific Rocket League. And remember, we mentioned earlier, next week's going to be that Madden tournament too. So the USO is always looking in, and you can still sign up for that tournament too. Like we saw, there's cash prizes to be won, a great organization to be involved in. So make sure to follow us here on Twitch to keep up with more exciting USO content. But that does it for us tonight. Thank you for watching. Y'all have a good night or good morning. Good afternoon to all the players right now.
Islanders back off very quickly to go for the reset, but it took all of them backing off, and J5 tried to create a goal-scoring opportunity. Fortunately, the angle was not right. Formerly Panda tries to do the same. We have a demo, and McMeerkat ball is inside Island Merc's territory, but the demos are being just returned back and forth. Shot from Freak, deflected.
Heads after a huge vertical spike. Almost credited to a goal for Sidgems. Who definitely, I can see why the team is named after him. You can see just based on the pure activity feed, Sidgems has been the carry, and another beautiful shot. Double tap there, he's just gonna play. They're making these crucial mistakes at the one moment they don't want to, but they're still the lead in the breakaway to 2-1, 2-0. We might go to a game 3 here after all. It's tenuous, but it's possible. Just 15 seconds left. They're going to need to stop this clear. Can they do it? They missed there, and now they're going to have to defend here, and they get played over, and it's tied with just 8 seconds left.
That McMeerkat, that was absolutely incredible. Bit of an over-rotation on the side. I did do a golf clap, so you couldn't hear it over my mic, but I was clapping, so it's 14-1. You guys did a great job, but Sidgems showing off their prowess yet again, finding another goal for Sidgems Minions. Nicely done. J5 tried to go for the challenge, but couldn't quite get the right angle, and Sidgems just carried it right in.